What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. We had
Woo!
some real football last night for the first time of the year. 2021 is off to a great start. What a game. I'm Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. We're here on the Get Right Fantasy Football Show. I'm here with Mike. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what up? What up? Excited. Week 1. It's my favorite time.
I know I can't even sit in my chair right now. I'm so excited.
Nah, man. Me
We
neither.
got we got Dim Boys in the house. What's up, Dim Boys? Dustin. Hey, feel free to drop in if you can. You just pop in on the screen. You know you can get in. Um,
Yep.
it's 9:35 or 9:39. We got in here a little early for you here, Tycoon. What's up, baby? Shout out to the fantasy boardroom. And we said soon, so we'll get on here a little early here. And shout out to Brooks, aka Seven Rings, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But shout out to everybody out there in Get Right Land. It's Friday, man.
Yeah.
Last Friday before a full slate of Sunday football, man. What do you got planned? How do
Oh,
you
not
take
much.
what do you just are you double TVs, laptop, phone?
Ooh,
Like what's your
no.
setup? What do you got going on?
I got red zone up. I got my phone charged. Usually up at for me, 11 o'clock. Well, before 11 o'clock to, catch good old ESPN beforehand, watch a little bit of Matthew Berry ahead of time, try to, get last minute thoughts in, and then tinker a little bit. Maybe not stinker tinker, but a little bit of tinker.
Ah,
And
gotta get
then,
that tinker in there.
yeah. But no, just more looking at my lineups, check everything, make sure I got everything in, throw in a DFS, here and there. I'm trying to join a DFS league with like 20 other people. So we'll, see how that goes. But, nice little things here and there. So, don't worry, bro. I'm not gonna hate too much on them tonight. I'll try
Not
to be nice.
not after that showing. And
Yeah,
I'd
man.
say I try to do the same, man. I try to at least have 2 or 3 screens up if I can. Checking obviously my fantasy scores and
Yeah,
obviously trying to watch the red zone and then maybe one other game. Of course, usually I have the
yeah.
Niner game on and red zone at the same time. But obviously I'm here on the West Coast, so I wake up basically and roll out of bed to football at 10 a.m. Nothing better
Only
than
thing I'm
that.
really jealous about.
Nothing better than that. That's why the West
Nah,
Coast is the best coast. Shout
nah.
out to everybody out here. But shout out to the East Coast people too, man. We appreciate you, especially if you're out there. We got
Nice.
Dim Boy saying he has the red zone on the 65-inch
Nice.
and
That's what I do too. Big old
flashing on everybody
65.
there. There you go. And then
Yeah.
has the tablet with one live game and on the phone checking up on the fantasy matchups. That's his
Nice.
setup. So
I miss
I'm
the pitcher in pitcher. Remember when they had the little pitcher in pitcher?
yeah.
They don't do it anymore. A lot of TVs don't have it, and and it's so weird to do now.
Yeah,
Oh,
see, and it's like see, there we go. West Coast definitely. What's up? Shout out, shout out. But no, seriously, I mean that's to me that's what I love about it. Again, just being able to roll
yeah,
out of bed basically and watching football. It's great having your setups, whatever it is you do, going through your ritual on Sunday mornings. We might be changing that up. I'd love to start, a little live show in the morning, just to
yeah.
get us all going here together. Maybe do a little Q&A and we can all tinker together, so to speak.
Hmm.
But we'll see, man. As we head into the season here, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit here about this game. We're going to get into the matchups, man. We're going to do some start and sits and try to, get through these games. Let you guys know, what we're thinking about the teams, the matchups, injuries, things like that. So, as I like to say, without any further ado, what's your greatest overreaction from last night, man? Tell me what's going on.
Ooh.
What'd you think of the game?
Oh, so I thought both quarterbacks looked fantastic. Really, really liked how they ran the games. You can see how much they're peppering every wide receiver. Now, Cowboys definitely had the game plan to throw. Like that was what they wanted to do. They knew that they couldn't run it, which is fine. But they look good. I mean, throwing to Cooper and Lamb, I mean, they pretty much took over. Godwin and Brown were huge targets. I had people asking me before the game, should I start Brown? I'm like, yeah. Like he's that secondary, I'm sorry, them boys, but they suck. And as much as you might like Trayvon Diggs, he is, the second option is never a good one. So, they were definitely just getting beat up on. I'm really surprised how much they let Gronk run, and how much he was, just open. I mean, Tampa is still a good defense, but I don't know how they let up so many points. If you're doing IDP, I mean, Devin White did well, David did well, all those guys did, fairly well for this type of game. So it went pretty well for everybody there. I mean, it was pretty much everybody but Zeke and Rojo that had a really good game. I thought it was really well done. Otherwise, I really hate the whole you fumble, you're out. But it's one of those things where, hey, what up, Tycoon? But it's one of those things that it's sad to see. We even took a poll: is he going to play for the rest of the game and stuff like that? Oh, and I forgot about Evans too. Evans had a really bad game. I picked him in Pick'em for five receptions. He only had 3. Like it was just a really weird scripted game. Like I said, and that's kind of proving them boys' point where if with Diggs being a beast, I mean he definitely did well against Evans, but anyone else that was going against Godwin and Brown, you pretty much you saw the result. So the offensive line for Tampa Bay looked really good, or was it the Dallas line looked really bad? It was a little bit of both, but you could definitely tell that the O-line for the Cowboys is a lot worse than it used to be. They used to be really stout. Now, they were going against Vita Vea and he was just tearing them apart. I mean, he's an outstanding D tackle, and JPP with Barrett on the edge. I mean, they were ripping them apart. So
shout out to those IDP players out there.
Hey, I'm always going to mention them because they're always somebody that you have to, account for these games. I mean, I was a little bit down on the tight ends because of the fact that Levante David and Devin White. I mean, they cover them pretty well. Levante David used to be a safety, like he's a big dude that can cover. So, you got to be careful of those things. But overall, we got to see Gio playing that James White role where he was passing out. I mean, even Fournette kind of got it, but you can definitely tell that Arians trusts Fournette a little bit more, even though he, tipped that pass that got intercepted. But that's tough for guys like Rojo. So, if you're one of his owners, you're definitely not playing him next week. And then he's going to go off for, 30 points. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
And and this is, no, don't worry. We'll get Martin back. We'll definitely try to get him back on the show.
You heard that
one day.
But I just want to kind of back up to some of that stuff you were saying there.
Give
Dustin his shout out. He was screaming from the mountaintops about Mike Evans. So, he was kind of telling you guys he was going to be the one that's kind of going to be out of the rotation. If any, he'll have his moments. But again, a lot of his production, of course, came, pre-AB. And, of course, Godwin was hurt a lot of the time. I kind of want to, again, and this is the overreaction, right? Obviously, it is one game. I want to preface everything by saying that. But that I've been a big Godwin. I have so many shares
for sure.
of Godwin. To me, I think, obviously he ended up with 1 touchdown, but I think he had 2 more almost touchdowns. I think that first touchdown to Gronk was actually meant for.
It was.
It was kind of meant for Godwin, but he's seen it, and you saw him totally pull off the ball because Gronk got excited and went up for it, and he wasn't trying to have any of that collision. But that just shows you kind of the selflessness that they're playing with there. And obviously the one where he fumbled, which was kind of his big, down moment of the night. And I think he had a chance to score on that play because, it was a nice hit, but he didn't go down on that hit. He could have still easily fought through that and scored. And then you could even say he could have possibly had a 4th touchdown with that, over the shoulder catch that he missed as well. So, he was being targeted. Obviously, AB was a monster as well. Just there's so many options here. So we never know
Yeah.
which guy it's going to be. Depending on the matchup, we know Brady's going to make the right decision. He's not going to force it to anybody. But again, Mike Evans is typically going to draw the best cornerback because the guy's 6'5". I mean, if you
Yeah.
if you don't put your best guy on him, then he's just going to eat all day. And then
Yeah.
again, you try to cover, your second best, coverage on Godwin, in the slot.
And it
And then
doesn't
now you
work.
have
Yeah.
and then you get AB running crazy on the back end. So it's like, and then he'll just pick you apart with Fournette and Gio coming out of the backfield. So again, it's a really tough team. Obviously, we know why they did it. Obviously, I'm just more shocked at the defense giving up that many points, but that just shows you how
Yeah,
potent
me too.
the Cowboys offense actually is. And shout out to the Cowboys defense, man, and keeping it from them getting blown out. With those 4
Yeah.
turnovers, I think they were one of the teams that had the least amount of turnovers last year.
Yeah.
So for
You're
them to
right.
start the
That's
year
why they
off with
took
4,
Dan Quinn.
exactly. So you see that with 4, turnovers in the game, and I think again, I'm not big on moral victories or anything like that. But I actually found a point in the game where I actually texted Dustin and Frank, and I was like, "Hey, man, you guys got a chance. I'm kind of rooting for you now, just to see
Yeah.
it because you guys played
I
hard,
wasn't.
man." I was like, I actually didn't have kind of that Cowboy hate, in my heart at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not in the same division, so it's not as
Nah.
different for you. But
I hate Brady,
obviously,
but I hate them more.
I like my guys. We got them boys here. You know what I mean? I mean, again, there was a slight moment there where I kind of wanted to see you guys pull it
Nah,
off, just because
I wanted it.
I'm more of a bigger sports fan. But of course, it got set up perfectly with a minute 24 left.
Yeah.
We're going way far too much breakdown in this game, but it was again our first
It's
football.
okay. It was
Our
just a
first
good game,
football
man.
this season, man. It was just a great game as a football fan. If this is just kind of a snapshot of what we're going to see, this year, I hope there's this many points, in a game. What, 29-31?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it
It's
was
just
29-28, I think.
no, but then they ended up kicking the field goal
Oh yeah,
going at
okay.
the end. So, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, again, we got everything we wanted. I mean, everyone in the game that we said start, did. Obviously, Rojo and Mike Evans underperformed, but I think Rojo's pretty much done in the doghouse. I don't think that's how they wanted to start it off. Maybe because
No.
they pulled off the win, they'll work him back in a couple games. But if you have Fournette, I think that's a good option. And if you have any of these receivers, it's going to be good too. So anyway,
Them boys is welcoming you to the bandwagon.
not at all, my guy. That's about the nicest thing you're going to have me say about that. And it's only because it was the first football I've seen of the year. So take it. Just take it while you're ahead.
And I like what Brooks. I like what Brooks said about not regretting Gronk over Logan Thomas. I think either one is fine, but you definitely got to see the upside of Gronk and Brady. So
Absolutely.
enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. And again, and then that's the other thing too. You're covering all those other guys, and then you could just let Gronk run all crazy
Gronk.
underneath and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, just come on. So again,
I didn't
there's so
see
many
OJ
weapons
Howard
there.
though.
Yeah, that was I started him in one league, and yeah, that was a dud. But that's okay. That's all right. We'll see how things go. I don't think they let Gronk play that much. I think he just played that much because it was Thursday night. I think throughout the season they're going to want to keep him fresh. So OJ Howard's, again, he's coming off injury, so I don't think they feel the need to have to rush him in there. They'll let Gronk play while he's fresh. It's early. I think he'll have a nice stretch in the middle of the year. He'll be probably a nice waiver ad, as we're starting to stream bye weeks and things like that.
It was like 85% humidity there too, so it was hot. Like they were definitely sweating it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Brooks, that's what I was just saying. Hey, but Dustin, man, hey, I you have to admit, man, I said some pretty nice things there. So, like I said, just because it's the first game of the season, you couldn't be with us tonight. So, again,
should I block him?
I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I really want to just put him in a timeout. So, but he hasn't.
Nah, we'll do that
anything
later.
Outrageous yet? We don't want to get off on the wrong foot. And then Brooks here says OJ Howard is why I didn't draft Gronk. Did we already say that already? I think we.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh, he said off air. Oh, okay. Nice. All right, man. So anyway, we spent a lot of time on that game, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So before we get into anything else, we just want to let you guys know. Thank you for those who did um, go to underdogfantasy.com, man, and put in that code get right. You guys did the thing. You used the code. We got in a couple drafts. Shout out to ACG. Shout out to Lou Camp. Anybody else out there that wants to get in and come. Now they're doing DFS weekly. And then, of course, the thing we're all hooked on
Pick
now is
them.
that pick 'em. They have
Yeah.
like rivalry matchups and things like that. You can 3 times, 6 times, 20 times your money. Bet anywhere from, $1 to $500, but play responsibly.
Good.
But it
Good
is a
luck.
lot of fun.
Good luck. I
So,
tried yesterday to do it, and it didn't pan out my way.
yeah, so that's why we say play responsibly. Don't gamble with anything you're not willing to lose. But have
There
a
you
lot of
go.
fun. It is fun, man. So definitely check it out. And yeah, shout out to you guys that are in the states still that don't allow it. But they are working on that. Some of you guys have had emails and things saying that they're working with the legislation, trying to get in there. So
Hmm.
we'll just definitely keep trying, and I'm sure one day it'll go in there. But make sure you use that code get right. So
Nice.
shout out.
And
Um,
Brooks, yeah, we knew it was you there, big guy. So, welcome to it. The show, and
oh yeah, see, I was right.
yeah,
I called that. That
yeah,
was
we
good.
yeah we knew that.
There it is. Oh yeah, he said he tried, but he couldn't see. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
we got a
Dustin's
couple other
telling him
guys
about
up
it.
there. Yeah, that not at the moment. So anyway. Oh yeah, one guy we didn't mention, man, Gallup. Um,
Yeah, I was going to mention the injury news and
maybe
stuff from that.
if anybody dropped him or does drop him, man, put him in your IR spot.
Yeah,
The
if you
amount of
can.
targets he received early was definitely very shocking to me. I think once he went out, it was definitely
Yeah,
concentrated more. I mean, CD had 10 targets before the half. He even out targeted Amari, but obviously we saw how productive Amari was.
yeah, for sure.
So again, it was just two high-powered offenses, man, going at it. We were drafting a lot of these guys, pretty high. But I think Gallup definitely has some nice value and potential down the line. They really were
Yeah,
working
for
him
sure.
in, so definitely keep an eye on him.
And if
Um,
you're looking to go from that offense, the guy that they're going to probably use is Cedric Wilson. He's the next up for Gallup if you want to
yeah,
if they do the 3 wide receiver set. I mean, he's
right,
going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks with a calf strain, so we'll see how they go. It hasn't been indicated if they're going to put him on short term IR or not. I think everyone would love if that happens, so they could put him in the IR. Otherwise, you're going to have to kind of wait it out until Fridays until they rule him out to for some formats to put him in that IR spot. I know Yahoo does it that way. And also the other big news from today from the Cowboys, Leo Collins got suspended for 5 games for substance abuse, and that's kind of a big one. I remember there was some chatter of why he didn't really go high in draft, and that when he was drafted, and why the Cowboys got him for a steal, and that was part of it. So good luck to him. Good luck to the team. With their right tackle. Hopefully they have somebody good to replace him because he's a stud at right tackle. So
definitely.
I mean, it's just this looks like last year, except for they get to keep Tyron Smith on the left, and hopefully get Zach Martin back next week. So we'll see.
Right. Exactly. And then again, I mean, remember a lot of the guys coming off COVID last time were, it took them a couple weeks before they get, back. And, that was one of the
True.
big reasons he didn't play this Thursday because they said physically he wasn't ready to
Yeah,
play.
that's right.
He was still feeling the effects and things like that. So, um, again, hopefully we can get that line together because, again, this offense is potent. And if they have that line there,
And did you see the
obviously
stat that they were talking about? They were talking about how Dak is probably one of the best QBs against pressure. So maybe that's a good thing. But
could
I
be.
know he doesn't want to be under the dress all the time, but he did pretty well with it, even with,
He's
the
used
leg
to it.
and stuff and not playing. So
Yeah. Yeah. And he definitely played well,
yeah,
Again, we could
for
talk
sure.
about that game probably
Oh,
for the
all
whole
game.
hour,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
if we really wanted to. So, anyway, so before we start getting into the start sit stuff here, and start breaking down the games, I just want to give a big shout out to all the Get Right ambassadors out there. You know who you are. If you're watching, email us, getrighff at gmail.com, your picture, a little bio, your Twitter handle, your sleeper handle, whatever it is you want to put on there as an ambassador. We're going to give you a shout out. Visit our website, getrightff.com, and under the About Us, you'll see the ambassador section. So one of those ambassadors is Magoats 05, as you guys know him, on Sleeper, and he gives us on our private Sleeper channel our interesting fact of the day. So we always like to share that on show days. So the one he hit with us this morning that we woke up to was Nick Foles threw more touchdowns in 3 quarters versus the Raiders back in 2013, which
I
was
remember that
7,
game.
than Achilles Smith, the number 3 overall pick in the 1999 draft, did in his entire career with only 5. Also, there were 10 non QB position players to have more career touchdown passes. So I love this little stat of the day because the best part about it is it's a dig at the Raiders, man. I love the shot at the Raiders. Giving them 7 touchdowns and a half. Shout out to the
Yeah.
Raiders, Raider Nation. We wouldn't have this stat if it wasn't for you. So shout out to the nation for this god awful interesting fact of the day. So
I'll never forget that game too. It was such a good game. You just see Nick Foles throwing those 7 touchdowns within the first 3 quarters, and you're just sitting there flabbergasted.
Yeah, outrageous.
Oh,
I don't
such
even
a
think
good game.
was there even DFS back then?
Yeah, 2013 probably.
I guess so, huh? I guess we're not that old. All right. So anyway,
yet.
we can finally do it. 22 minutes into the show. We're gonna get into
Yeah.
these week 1 breakdowns, man. We're gonna finally start talking football. We're past drafting. The drafts are over. We're getting into some
You're
real
stuck with
football,
who you
man.
got.
Yeah. So now it's who you got. Now it's about managing your team. So we're gonna go through here and just kind of go game by game and let you know guys know what we're thinking. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. We have some of your guys' questions that you guys have been putting out there today. So we'll definitely hit those as we go. So Mike, I know you wanted to talk about this game first, man. So we
Yeah.
got Eagles at Falcons. We have the Falcons favored by 3.5. We have a 48.5 point over under. So they're expecting a high scoring game here.
Oh, for sure.
Should be a healthy amount of points in this game. So who are you starting in this game? Who do you think is gonna get these points?
Can I say everybody? I mean,
Break it down.
honestly, I mean, this is Devontae Smith's pro debut. You get Kyle Pitts' pro debut. They barely played in the preseason, so they get a minute to kind of accommodate to being a pro. There's a new offensive coordinator in Atlanta, so we get to see how Mike Davis is used. We also get to see the way that Miles Sanders is going to play because I know he dropped in almost every league that he was drafted in. We also get to see how they're going to be using Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert because that was a big thing, and even to the point where Zach Ertz is not getting drafted anywhere. So we get to see that. Jalen Reagor, sophomore year. I mean, there's so many things going on in this game that it's going to be something. I honestly think that the Pittsburgh defense is better than Atlanta. Atlanta's front seven isn't as good as the Eagles group, and believe me, I hate saying that, but it's true. I think their secondary is a little better than people think it might be. But they were toasted last year, so Matt Ryan's going to have a good game against these guys. He throws always for 400 against almost everybody. Jalen Hurts, same deal. He'll run on them. It shouldn't be a big deal. I would start both without a problem. I'd be starting all your wide receivers. I can't really think of anyone that I wouldn't start in this particular game. Ertz and Goddard, because the only thing that I can see for Atlanta is they have two good, cover linebackers with Deion Jones and Campbell. So you definitely need to be careful with them, but I'm still going to start them. I mean, you drafted Goddard to be your guy, more than not. So I really do think that you're going to be playing him anyway because you don't have better options. So, and a lot of the guys in these particular matchups you drafted to play. So, I mean, beyond Jalen Rager and maybe Russell Gage, where you're trying to figure out if should start Russell over, so and so. That those are the only ones I'm going to be a little bit, unsure about. But we actually have a question in the chat,
Nice.
and it's a good one. So we got Brandon Cooks or Michael Pittman in the flex. That's a good question.
You already know
Shout out
my.
to Ski.
You already know my answer.
Yeah, I already know you're not picking Cooks. So
We're not picking Cooks. I mean, I understand why. There's going to be a lot of points in that game, but
I think this is a question down the road, but that we're going to go over. But I'm on board for Pittman. I just like it. But we have a difference in opinion.
Of course we do.
Them boys.
The resident Cowboy fan in here, so it's all good. But yeah, I'm actually kind of I'm looking at this game kind of in a different way. Again,
Okay.
you can start these guys, but I think I'm actually kind of the opposite with you as far as the guys in this game that you drafted. You drafted them to start. I'm kind of thinking in 1 QB leagues. Most people, again, in the drafts that I did, Hurts kind of fell, into that 15 plus kind of range. I think he was drafted more as a QB2. Obviously, in a super flex league, you're probably
Hey man, welcome
drafting.
to the channel. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
what's up, man? Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
new
What's
guy.
up, Squee? Shout out, man. We always love it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We
Yes,
really
sir.
appreciate that. So absolutely, shout out, man. Check out the description. Come join the Sleeper channel, man. Join the community, the Get Right community. But yeah, so just getting back to it here. Like I was saying, I think Hertz again fell a little bit. I think Matt Ryan kind of fell a little bit in 1 QB leagues.
Yeah.
I don't think we were drafting a lot of Eagles, receivers besides Devonta Smith. And I think where he was going in drafts, I mean, maybe you're starting him as a wide receiver too or a flex, to be able to take that shot. And I think it's a nice kind of safe option as a flex. I'd flex with him there. Shout out to Dustin. But I think obviously most people drafted Pitts, as the tight end 4 or 5, kind of off the board. So you're pretty much stuck drafting him.
Yeah.
And again, unless you got like maybe Kelsey
Good
or
luck.
someone else early, maybe Goddard is your number 2, like you're saying, but you're pretty much kind of starting Goddard. I have a couple shares of him as well, just because I wait on my tight ends.
Yeah, me too.
So obviously we're starting Ridley, in this game.
Yeah, of course.
He's the bona fide kind of starter here, and probably Mike Davis. A lot of people he kind of crept up as
You
that
have to.
RB2. So most people are probably starting him, but I think again, if you're not in a position, I don't think these guys are like in a super smash spot to where you're starting them over guys that you drafted kind of higher, especially in week 1. I don't
Ooh, I
like
have
to
a
get
question.
cute. So again, that's kind of where I'm at on my take.
I have
So
a question for you.
what's up?
So, no, I have a question for you. Who would you, and this isn't in the chat or anything,
No, you're good.
who do you start, Mike Davis or Miles Sanders, in the concept that you might actually have both of these guys?
I mean, I think they're actually both, safe plays as RB2s. I think you
Mm-hmm.
drafted them that way, and I think again in these matchups you kind of start them that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're picking one.
if I had to go one or the other, I would probably prefer. I like the Sanders route, man. I wasn't as down on Sanders as he kind of started dropping in drafts. I still kind of like him. But for me, I would say Sanders over Davis if I had to make a pick. Oh, look at that. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
was just going to say Sanders. Yeah.
Look at
Well,
that.
I'm going to
So
disappoint you there, Brooks, because I'm looking more towards Davis. I just think, actually, no, I picked Davis. No, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say Sanders too.
changed his mind, ladies and gentlemen. You see that? He changed his mind
Yeah, and
already.
I thought about the defenses again. So
Yep. And again, I think Sanders is one of the better talents on the Eagles. So I think they're going to run the offense more
yeah, they're gonna
through
use
him.
them
So
and the
I think
RPO. Yeah,
Atlanta wants to play with their new toys on the outside a little better. Their best kind of talent is Matt Ryan, obviously with Pitts and things like that. So again, I think Mike Davis is definitely serviceable. You're starting him as your RB2, but I always said if he's your RB3, it's even better. And I'd love to flex him if you needed to. So
yeah. I mean, my thing is the Arthur Smith type offense. I mean, he was very run heavy with Henry. That's why I'm a little bit like wanting to say Davis because of that. But I definitely agree with you. I think that Sanders is definitely a better option. In general, especially if you're doing PPR. I definitely think he's a better option because I think they're going to be using Cordell Patterson as more of like that passing down guy. If you're having to worry about that, or Wayne Gallman. I mean, it it's tough to tell for that. So we'll see.
Yeah, but Gallman did just get there, so I think they'll give Davis the benefit
Yeah,
of the
they're going to
doubt.
give him time. Yeah.
Davis can catch a little bit out of the backfield. It's nothing crazy, but you know,
Yeah.
Carolina did throw to the back last year. It wasn't
Yeah, of
McCaffrey-esque, but still.
course.
So yeah, so I think we beat that first game into the ground a little bit there. Love talking football. We're probably going to
Oh, of
fly
course.
past an hour here, so guys, just be kind of prepared to probably go an hour and a half with us. If you want to, we'll try to get through these things, but we'll definitely
Yeah.
get to your Q&As for as long as you guys want. But hopefully we kind of answer them as we go along here as well. So next game we have on the list here is Steelers at Buffalo. We have the Bills favored by 6.5. 48.5 point over under. Two pretty good
Interesting.
defenses. Obviously, Buffalo, definitely has a better secondary. So that's going to be interesting matchups on the outside. We'll see, who draws that coverage. I think Deontay Johnson might be, kind of a guy that might,
Yeah.
get that Tre'Davious White treatment.
Yeah.
So you might want to kind of temper expectations just a bit, but I
Yeah.
don't leave it to Pittsburgh to scheme a way to get him open because he is very talented. Most people probably have him as a wide receiver too. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the one I'm just kind of saying watch out for. Obviously, we're starting Diggs. We're
Yeah. You have
starting.
to.
I like the Big Ben start.
Yep.
Again, one of the sneaky starts. Could be Juju Smith-Schuster here. Because, with those
Okay.
secondaries on the outside, that underneath might open up. And we know, that he has just those little underneath routes. So he could kind of eat up those targets. So I kind of like Juju here as a flex start if you needed to. And obviously we're starting Josh Allen. I like
Yeah.
Singletary kind of out of the gates just based on kind of how and what we saw in the preseason, especially in a
Okay.
PPR. And again, take it or leave it with the tight ends in this game. I'd like to see, what
I'd
we
like to
get a
see
little
Dawson
more
Knox.
first. Yeah. So again, I'm not going crazy on any tight ends here. I'm probably sitting them. If you need to, maybe we could stream them later. I might be forgetting a guy or two here or there, just off the top
No,
of
you're
my
good.
head, but that's kind of where I'm at. So what say you?
No, same thing. I mean, I'm probably gonna pivot away from any other running backs, even Moss and Singletary, just because I know Schobert is brand new, but he knows the Steelers well, or he knows he's just a really good linebacker. He's also going to be paired with Devin Bush coming back, so I really think that they have a really good linebacking core to handle the running back grouping. So I also think they're going to have a easy time with guys like Dawson Knox, who I like. I really do like him as a late tight end guy. Ebron's going to probably have a little bit of a rough time. They really like Pat Fireman or Fryerman.
Fairmuth,
Wow. Oh,
Firemuth or
Fairmuth.
something?
There we go.
Yeah,
I can never get his name right.
I got you.
But he's someone that if you're like digging deep, is someone definitely worth worth a speculative ad in Dynasty. But I agree with everything else you said. The Bills have a really strong secondary, so all those options are a little tough. So you're gonna have to temper expectation. Juju is a sneaky little pick, going with the second or third option, so that's not bad. And Big Ben's not a bad option either. I mean, he looked good in the few seconds that he played in preseason, and you're definitely starting the big guys like Allen Diggs and Najee Harris. I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, he was big. I really enjoyed what he did in the preseason, and I'm kind of hoping everything goes in the right direction for him, he always looked good. So I was really, I really want that's something I want to see out of this game.
Absolutely. Very nice.
So
So yeah,
yeah.
so I think that was good. We did a little better on that one as we power through these games
There's
here.
not much to it. Like I'm waiting
Yeah,
to see a lot of these things. Like there's so many narratives for these things, and I'm waiting for it to develop.
week
So
one, baby. You love it. Week one. And I can't wait till
sometimes.
overreaction Monday, man. That's the
Oh
best is
yeah.
when we all go completely ape shit on Monday and start fire selling everybody and smashing the waiver wire for all these guys who are never going to do anything again for the rest of the year. So just
Sammy
be prepared
Watkins
for
week
that.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have him, DFS, play him for sure. He's always good for 3 touchdowns in the game, and they have no other receivers in that game anyway.
Oh,
So anyway, moving
we'll
on
get to
here.
that.
Try to keep myself on track. Feel free to reel me in anytime, Mike.
No, I got you.
So so we got the next game here. Vikings at Bengals. We have Minnesota favored by 3, so they have it as a pretty close game here, closer than I
And being an
thought.
away favorite.
Exactly. And then yeah, that's right because they're at Bengals. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's not as I guess it is a little bigger than we kind of think.
Mm-hmm.
47-point over under. So they're kind of predicting a little lower scoring there.
Yeah.
But
3 touchdowns apiece.
exactly. So there's obviously a lot of fantasy relevant guys here in this game. I'll start on the Vikings side.
Mm-hmm.
We have obviously Dalvin Cook, you're starting him. Um, obviously we're starting Justin Jefferson. Maybe you have the option to flex or sit Adam Thielen if you need to, but again, against this Cincinnati defense, I'm pretty much
I'd play
firing
him.
everybody up. So obviously on the
Play
Bengals
him.
side, I'll let you get into that as well. Because
Oh,
I want
you just
to,
hate
I
talking
want to
about him
talk
because you hate talking about Mixon.
exactly. So I'll let you get into that, and I definitely want to preview the next game, and I'll cede my time
Oh
to take
no.
more time there.
Oh,
So you go right
that's
ahead.
that's all your game. Don't worry. Well, I'll let you talk that whole time.
You go right ahead.
For this game, I mean, I'm playing. I mean, this is kind of like the other game that we saw before with Atlanta and Atlanta versus Philly. I mean, both these defenses were horrible last year. I mean, like horrible, like last in the league, like 30. One of the worst. And I like, you're going to be playing Jefferson. You're going to play Cook on the Viking side. You're going to be playing. You could even play Conklin at their tight end. If you want to be really, really ballsy, you can even try Chris Herndon, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But actually, a sneaky QB to play in even 1 QB leagues is Kirk Cousins. I don't hate the matchup. I mean, the Bengals aren't that great at, on their defense. They try. Both teams have done what they can to make it better, but I don't see it really working yet. I mean, it's week 1. We'll see how it works, but I really do think Cousins has an opportunity to do really well in this game. I also think Burrow has a really good chance of doing well this game. So, yeah, they definitely do have a better defense. They went out and got a couple of really good pieces. I think they have Patrick Peterson now, if memory serves me right. On the outside. So that's going to be a fun matchup. But, right now, I really do. I like Diggs for the Bengals side. I like Mixon. I'm a big fan of Mixon compared to my co-part here. He does not like Mixon at all, but I do. I think they're going to use him, a lot, just like they're going to use Cook. I really, until Chase shows me something, he's on my bench and he's lucky he's there. I just wrote a whole article about him in the context of my takes because just looking at him, I mean, if everyone saw the whole thing about the concept of what he thought about the ball, I don't like it because it doesn't have the white stripe on it and that it's a lot wider. Well, yeah, it's easier to catch. Now you're coming to the pros. It's a little different. You got to get used to it. And I understand that you have rust from last year.
Heard that before.
I've never heard that. And he's a pro. Like you're now a pro. You're no longer a college student. Like you are now a pro. Get used to it. And to me, he's on my bench until further notice.
Isn't that why they have jugs machines? Like isn't
oh
that
for sure.
Reason?
So
he can afford a jugs machine.
And to be fair, that just shows me he hasn't been doing anything in the offseason. and he hasn't been doing anything during the preseason at all because he had a ball. I'll never. I watched this game on. I watched this preseason game, and I saw Joe Burrow. One of the first plays that he did, throw a freaking bubble screen to the left, and literally right in his hands, perfect ball, and it just dropped. And I'm like, I thought you had a good connection with this guy. He was out the next play. So until further notice, I wouldn't be playing him. I would play Boyd in a heartbeat if you need somebody to, cover that wide receiver 3 or flex. I think he's a really sneaky option. I really like Boyd in a lot of different leagues. I was very upset. I mean, I didn't get him in a lot of leagues because I went for Higgins. But the leagues that I didn't get Higgins, I got Boyd. So I definitely would play him anywhere. Tight ends for them, they don't have any. If you want to try Thaddeus Moss, go. Good luck. CJ, who was it? CJ Usman. No, I was going to say Usmanzada, but then I'm like, no, that's not right.
Usmanzada. I was like, isn't he a
TJ Huzmazode championship? That's one of my favorite commercials. But either way, I just, you're definitely sitting Chase. You're definitely sitting any of their tight ends. But otherwise, you're going to play everybody. There's going to be a good amount of points. I would definitely be hitting the over for this game. So
interesting.
Yeah,
you're going over, huh?
Yeah. Nice. I mean, why not? I mean, what is that? That's 24. So, I could see it going above that.
You had me at hello. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with you there on Chase. I would hopefully, again, if you have a better option, I would try him.
You drafted him that high.
Yeah, I mean, if you did draft him that high, again, I think I have a share of him, but I actually have Higgins and Chase just because he fell so far to me where I had to kind of just take the chance on him.
I played Boyd and Higgins all last year and did well.
Yeah, so again, as long as Burrow's healthy, with that knee coming back, we'll see how he is. If he plays anywhere, like Dak did, then we're in for a good show there. So that's that. So let's get into the next one, man. Next game we have here is Niners Lions. We have the Niners favored by a whopping 8 points, baby. Let's go. Probably the biggest line I think we have of the week.
Yeah, it is.
A 45.5 point over under, and
which is
probably
low.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it's going to be like 42-3.
Yeah.
So that's what they're probably projecting, and they're giving that half point. Obviously, I'm saying
safety
42 by the Niners, baby. Let's go. But no,
the Lions safety, that's all they're getting.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I mean, obviously we know all about this Detroit defense. I think they were, second worst in the league last year, if not worst against the run. I know we were smashing everybody that was playing them. I think Aaron Jones had like a 3-touchdown game against them last year. A couple other 2-touchdown performances against this defense last year as well. I love Mostert. I still don't know how I kind of feel about Sermon. He kind of crept up there for kind of a flex position. I think you can probably get away with him in a flex, just because maybe there's some garbage time there where if they're ahead, hopefully by the fourth quarter, he can get his, 10 to 12 touches in there. And I think the Niners probably want to, have, each guy get about, 15 touches or 15 carries each, and then some work in the passing game as well. Off that play action, and then being able to dump low. Obviously, just kind of excited to see if that whole 2QP thing that they pulled off in the
I'm interested. I'm not even gonna lie.
Preseason game, yeah, if that was for real or if they're just doing it to just make people prepare for it, or what they're gonna do if it's gonna be more conventional. Again, I don't think they have to really show too much against Detroit. So we may have to wait a little while, especially with Trey kind of coming off that finger. There's no reason to push it and rush it. Let Jimmy G kind of get into a nice rhythm. We want him to win. And again, to me, this is the time to showcase Jimmy G. Let him show that he can still win and get some, good plays, under his belt. Put a nice little highlight tape together so that we can trade him off and let the Trey area rain come in. And so that Jimmy G can go somewhere because, there's plenty of teams that need quarterbacks. So, maybe he can go to, a nice place, maybe like Washington or, somewhere like that where they just kind of have some placeholders in place. And again, he's still pretty young in quarterback years, and I still think he's still good. He's
He's
just a little
viable.
bit of an injury risk, and obviously we gave up 3 firsts, so the writing's kind of on the wall. But if they can pull it together and um, you know, let that all play to the side, then we'll see what happens. So
Yeah,
that's my
Brooks is
little
agreeing with you.
soliloquy there. Yeah, let's see what we got here. I saw the comment come up, but I was in my
No, you're
zone
good.
there.
I got you.
So let's see. So Niners should try to win this game without attempting a single pass. Start a punter as QB and just hand off every play. Exactly.
Not against it.
Again, we don't we don't need to show anything crazy against this team.
No.
Let's save that for the better defenses, just to make them prepare a little more and kind of test what we can do against them.
Yeah.
Um, or maybe they just hold it to the playoffs if we can get lucky enough to get there. So
Hopefully.
again, what are you thinking? What's your
Well,
analysis here? Big Mike,
I
classic
mean, they
Mike.
got classic Mike. So we got Trey Lance off injury report. We got Swift and Hawk off the injury report. So everybody's playing. Everybody that should be playing is playing. Everybody's there. Everyone's gonna, be available. Um, you're gonna play Swift. You drafted him that high. You probably might even play Jamal Williams just as a maybe because of all the news with the groin injury. So if you're in a deeper type league, you're definitely playing Jamal as like a flex option if you have the opportunity. Um, TJ Hawkinson, I would be playing regardless, even though he might get shut down. You don't have a
He
better
will.
option. You drafted him.
You don't.
Well, yeah, I like Fred Warner, and you don't. So that I like Fred Warner. I like Quan out. Oh no, Quan went to the Saints. Never mind. So
Yeah,
you still
that
have
reminded me.
decent options. You have decent options on that linebacking core. So I really do think that Hawk will have a little bit of a tough time, but we'll see. I mean, he's the only option. The only guy that you're going to play from Detroit, if you are going to play anybody, is Tyrell Williams, probably, if you're going to do a passing option, but I highly doubt that you're going to want to do that. If you're in a pinch, he might work out for you. We'll see. Who's your starting corner? Is it Brock?
I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I mean, he played against him, a few times. I think that he'll be okay. If Tyrell Williams is one of those guys that you can throw in your flex if you have no other options and you like literally passed on every wide receiver that came up and you have him as your wide receiver 3 or flex. I have no problem playing him because he's the only option. They have Amon St. Brown too. I mean, but you're not going to play him. You're going to just keep him on your bench. So overall, this game is going to be, a big 49er game. Play anybody from the 49ers, Kittle, Ayuk, Samuel, just play everybody. You won't be disappointed, hopefully. We do have 2 questions from the chat. So we have one from Luke Camp. He wants us to pick 2, half PPR. We have Swift against San Francisco, Chase Edmonds against Tennessee, or Corey Davis against Carolina. You're picking 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to kind of start Swift just kind of based on, I think you just kind of have to have him in there. And so to me, I'm
Yep.
kind of torn between, Edmonds and Corey Davis. I really don't know what to expect still out of this Arizona backfield. Again, I've been kind of beating it since the beginning of the year. These 2 running backs are, not even the number 1 running option on their team. That's Kyler
I'm going to
Murray
talk
as the
about him in a minute.
RB1. So to me, that's a little tough, kind of decision there because again, I kind of want to feel that out. I hope you drafted Edmonds more as your RB3, but if you had one of
Yeah.
those, uh, zero RB strategies, this is kind of the decisions you're looking at.
Yeah, for sure.
So with that said, the Carolina defense is, I mean, that secondary's
Yeah,
not bad, you know.
they're not horrible.
So exactly, and we saw how much
And
Wilson,
Zach Wilson's
targeted him.
is brand new.
Yeah, so man, that's tough. I'd probably go Swift and Davis, just because again, I don't know what we're gonna see out of that Tennessee game. And just more so, I don't know how that backfield's going to be kind of divided up. With Connor, is he back from injury? I know
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
dealing with
on he
a
was
couple
on
things
COVID.
that's what it
He
was. It
was
was
on
COVID.
COVID. That's what it
So,
was.
okay. So
Yeah.
he should be fine. So again, even more so that just kind of muddies that, backfield. So,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
yeah, so I'd say Davis and Swift there.
Yeah, I'm leaning Davis. I really like Corey Davis anywhere. I mean, we're gonna talk about him a little bit when we get to the Jets Carolina game. But I really do like Swift. He's a must out of that group. And I'm torn between these two, like you are. The thing that's leaning me towards Edmonds is the half PPR, and it's only because I, that half point for the PPR, like I feel like it's just more down a running. Like I'd rather pick a running back for that particular, answer. And I think the way that they're going to use him might be. I know he's going to be mixed in with Connor, but he's still a good pass catching back. That's what they used him for when he was always the number two with in on third down, so he can definitely catch the ball. So can Connor. So I think this offense is built for that type of thing. So I think that either one of them can do well. So I think I'm leaning more Edmonds because I think he'll touch the ball a tad more than Corey Davis. And especially with a rookie quarterback going against a new pro team. I mean, we'll see. And he's going against the ones and going against everybody that not like a mixed group of ones and twos. Like he's going against the ones. So we'll see. I know everyone's talking him up, and I'm not against him. I really do like Zach Wilson a lot. He's probably one of my top rookies out of this class. So I think that I'm gonna stick with Swift and Edmonds.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep track of that.
Yeah. In my rankings, I literally have Edmonds and Corey Davis, only one person in between them. So
Wow. Yeah.
that's how close it was for me. So,
And
anyway.
then we got another one from Dem Boys. Is Jimmy G a good streaming option for this week against Detroit, or will San Francisco just run all over them? Honestly, I think they're going to do okay. Like, I think that Jimmy might have a good game. I mean, they might try to be a little bit lax on, Trey, like you were saying before, to kind of give him a break from that finger. I mean, he's throwing in practice. He had no limitations today, so I think he'll be okay. But I really do think they're going to give Jimmy a chance to kind of, show what he got. I was kind of hoping, and I don't wish this on anybody, but I was kind of hoping Trey wasn't going to be playing just so that Jimmy had an opportunity to kind of play. Like, I've always rooted for him. I always thought he was a good quarterback and needed a chance, but he always tended to get hurt. So you always went, huh? So I really do hope that he gets a chance, but I would start him if you're in a pinch. If you're streaming quarterback and who are you picking, Cousins or Jimmy G?
Cousins.
Yeah. Like I would only do it if you had.
My answer is no. You
Well,
shouldn't be in
I'll
a
go.
streaming scenario in week 1 already. I mean, that's my whole thing,
But
them
you
boys.
know how
What's
many
going on here?
people?
I
You know
mean,
how
I
many
guess, in
people?
your
Come on now.
dynasty leagues and stuff like that, but at least in your standard redraft leagues, you shouldn't be in a situation
If
where
you
you need to
go
decide between Jimmy G and like who, Sam Darnold, or I mean, maybe if you drafted Cam
I was
Newton or
going to say
something.
Sam Darnold.
I
I was
mean,
going to say Sam Darnold. I was even going to throw in Mac Jones if I really want to, but all I'm saying is that
that's
in
tough
the
if that's who you're
well,
going
if you're getting
against.
past that top 12, let's just say you get past that top 12, those top 12 group of guys, who are you going to pick to play? And Jimmy's going to be probably at the bottom of your, probably near the 20 mark. So you're either playing Kirk Cousins, where I have him probably I think I have him at like 13 or something like that. I would play him, of course, over Jimmy, but at the same time, would he be a bad option if you had guys like Sam Darnold, or Teddy Bridgewater is another one? Who do you start?
Yeah, maybe Andy Dalton or Jimmy G. You go with Jimmy G, I'd say.
Yeah.
And that's who I have, like Tyrod Taylor, Teddy Bridgewater,
So
maybe Jared Goff, Mac Jones, Andy Dalton. Yeah, those are about
see, and
where I
this
have.
is more of a better question that like Dem Boys is asking is my options are Teddy or Jimmy because my other QB is Fields. So honestly, I wouldn't go Teddy. I would be going Jimmy because I think the Giants defense is better than people think they are. And No, but their secondary is way better than
I'm
people
just
think it
messing.
is.
I'm just
You
messing.
better be, because I will defend that.
I'll give you your secondary respect.
No, their second. I mean, James Brad. We're going to talk about him later, but he's
Yeah,
definitely.
you're gonna
It's one
talk
of
about
those things that. Oh, for sure, I'm going to talk about that Giants game. But at the same time, if you're going to choose between Teddy or Jimmy, I'm going Jimmy without a problem. Like that. That's not even a question. So
I'd have to agree there, definitely because of the matchup
yeah,
in that specific scenario. And I'm sorry for
yeah,
ragging on you there, dim boys. There are different leagues out there, so again, you might be in that situation. I'm sure he's stacked everywhere else, so you'll make up for that difference on what you're going to lose on that quarterback position. So you'll probably have some receivers that score more than Jimmy this week, but that's okay.
yeah,
Exactly, that's what we're saying.
yeah.
Bradbury is for real,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and Jones, right? Isn't that your guys' other corner?
No, Jackson,
Oh,
Dory
Jackson.
Jackson, but
That's
he's
what it
coming
is.
off injury, so I'm a little nervous with him. But he's it, one if they're all like if everyone's healthy in that secondary, it's going to be one that's going to be tough. We have I think we have one of the better defenses in the league, but we'll talk about that later.
Let's talk about it now. We don't have to go in order,
No, I
man.
don't want
Let's
to jump
talk
all the
about
way
it
down there.
now. Let's
I don't want to
go.
go all the way down there yet.
Oh, you want to end? You want
We're
to
starting
end
1
it with
o'clock.
it? All right, all
Yeah.
right, all right. So
Come
you
on,
got
we're
to give
doing
me.
1 o'clock to 12, 1 o'clock to 4.
I already scrolled down, man. I was already down there. But it's all good. We'll bring the show back up. I was ready to get crazy with it, man. It's Friday night. We got football. Let's go, baby. I'm excited. Let's go. All right.
Apparently, it's a
So
20-team league.
yeah, again, I got to remember, man.
Wow.
There are those leagues out there. I can't
Wow.
stay just in my 12-team redraft mode here.
I do
So
10.
oh, see, you got to step up
Is
to
the
the.
10 is a 10 the new 8? Like I'm
It
starting to
is.
feel that way.
It
Oh my
is.
god. We're going to
Yeah.
have to up
And
it.
I feel and that's what I mean. I like soon I'm like I need to get into a 14 and these 16 and 20 team
Wow.
leagues, man. So definitely expanding our horizons here. But definitely I'm definitely a redraft guy through and through.
Yeah, for sure.
Loving been playing keeper for a while, so that's really fun as well.
Yeah.
And getting into the dynasty now, which is amazing. So exactly, yeah, 10 is the new Nate. Exactly.
I'm going to have to up my game now.
Yeah, expand your horizons. And all that means
That's
is
what I'm doing with this group.
you're just you're just tracking more players. That's all it is. There's just
Oh,
more
for
players
sure.
that you're keeping track of. So it just kind of expands your knowledge.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we'll jump to the next game here. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, that
Yep.
was all the questions, right? So Cardinals Titans. We're punching that hour mark, so we'll try to get through these here. Like I said, we're probably going to go about an hour and a half first week of the season. So thanks to all you guys trying to hang in here with us. We have a nice game here. A lot of fantasy relevant guys that were drafted fairly high. Obviously with King Henry at the top, typically going top 5 in pretty much every draft, super flex, PPR, whatever it is. I mean, maybe in super flexes he was maybe going first, second round, possibly, but definitely a high draft pick. We have obviously the big addition with Julio Jones paired up with AJ
Mm-hmm.
Brown. Jones was one of kind of those nice value picks that people kind of got based on talent. So we're going to see how that all gets thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
With this offense, obviously, shout out to Dustin. He and I had one of the first conversations when that first happened, and his initial take was how you going to stop Henry with those two guys on the outside
Oh,
because
for
you're going to have
sure.
to spread that out. And so I think it's going to be interesting. Definitely one of the more interesting games that I'm excited to look at. We have D Hop and Kyler Murray on the other side. I have a Kyler Murray share in one of my home leagues in my keeper league,
Yeah,
so
me
I'm
too.
excited about that. Definitely a nice game. We have the Titans favored by 3 with a 53-point over under. They're expecting
That's
more
huge.
fireworks than our 51 and a half Thursday night game. So expect again a lot of high profile fantasy players in this game. So what say you, Mike? What say you?
Anyone on the Titan side I'm playing. I'm a little hesitant with maybe for sure, but
Yeah,
that's up to you.
no tight ends are relevant in this game.
You
No,
know how I feel about that.
no tight ends are relevant in any game, really, unless it's
Well,
Kansas City
this is relevant
Raiders.
because
Niners.
Cardinals were horrible against the tight end last year, so that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. I think they
Right.
were like 30th or 31st. So, I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to play Frickshire, if you have no other choice, go ahead. But anyone else on the Titans, I'm pretty much playing. Um, uh, Cardinals, the one guy I'm really looking forward to watching is Rondale Moore. I'm really curious how they're going to use him. They used him a lot in the preseason in many different
And
packages.
how they used them, yeah. That was
Oh,
what was
for
impressive.
sure. They were using him like, Trayvon Austin and Percy Harvin, like that type of gadget player. So I'm hoping that they use him more in different ways. I mean, a lot of people, I keep seeing questions about Kirk, and I'm like, dude, he's relevant. Like, I honestly, you're only really looking at D Hop, and you're looking. I mean, AJ Green there maybe, but you're not starting him because no one. If you have
He's a
him,
whole.
you're in a deep league. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just someone to hold on to. Other than that, I mean, you're
I like
definitely
the
playing Murray.
potential
You're definitely,
upside.
yeah. I mean, you're playing Murray just because the Titans defense is really bad against the pass. Other than that, I mean, this game you can pretty much play, and you're playing you could play all the running back options as well. They're definitely tough against the run, so that's a little a little caveat. I know I chose Edmonds before, but their front seven is pretty good. So just be wary and kind of curve your expectations. But there's not much to really talk about for this game. I mean, there's not many storylines going on other than Julio being in and things like that. But this could be a really big game for a couple of people. So just enjoy the ride.
Exactly. And just another sneaky little play in this game might be Josh Reynolds.
Oh, I
Obviously,
was thinking about him too.
they're going to be showing so much coverage to Julio and to obviously AJ Brown. So Reynolds going to be a nice little sneaky play, just kind of
Yep.
carving up the middle because obviously, especially on a play action, they're going to draw the eyes of Henry. He's going to draw those linebackers. So Reynolds could just kind of sneak in there and might have like kind of a sneaky 10 catch, 80-yard performance. Isn't typically a high volume guy, only had 81 targets and 52 catches last year, but did have 600 yards. So, he could hit some of those seams, especially if, again, they're playing that coverage and rolling it towards, Brown and Julio. And again, just the type of exotic package they could put together with putting, we're probably going to see, AJ Brown in the slot. We're going to see Julio in the slot. So it's just going to be interesting to see how they line those guys up. Do they put Brown and Julio on the same side of the field with Reynolds on the other side? How do you guard that? I
Oh, it's
mean,
gonna be
with Henry, and then you can run to the opposites. I mean, what do? You're either cheating a
yeah.
safety over or linebacker. You're rolling it that way with those two guys to play. I mean, it's just again the between the Titans and the Rams. Those are probably and again, obviously my Niners but those are some of the teams that I'm like most excited to just kind of see their offenses this year with the additions
Oh,
and
for sure.
potential that they kind of have. So I'll be definitely watching this game on Sunday.
Oh, of course.
Awesome. Anything else you got on that one, or try to get through these
No, not
here?
really.
All
Yeah.
right. So next game here we have Seahawks at Colts. We have Seahawks by 3 at the Colts. So they're still favored over them, even with that Colts defense. We have a 48.5 point over under. Um, you know, I'll let you break the biggest news out of the
Oh,
Colts
Naeem Hines got paid
for a 3 down back.
3 years. Wow, 3 years, 18 million. 12 guaranteed. That's huge. I mean, they're definitely not using him as a 3 down, but they're definitely going to be using him in third down
Well,
and
that's what I meant. Yeah,
here and
like a
there.
3rd down back. Yeah, like as a
Yeah.
guy who's not even technically a starter.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I'm a JT owner, Jonathan Taylor. I'm definitely. It makes me sad, because it takes away all his touches, and I don't want that, and I just traded for him. So I'm hoping that it doesn't really affect him that much. But I definitely saw those games last year where you know basically you saw Jonathan Taylor fade away and Naeem Hines is scoring 2-3 touchdowns and running for a ridiculous amount of yards. So I have both of them. I definitely handcuffed. to make sure that I had Hines. So he's definitely someone to add in any league if you didn't already. But beyond that, I mean, Wentz was a full participant. Nelson's going to be is going to be questionable. Apparently, DK Metcalf had a last-second calf injury, but he's not on the injury report yet. But he definitely had an injury that afternoon. Today. So, well, technically yesterday.
For
So
you.
yeah,
We still
for me.
have an hour or so.
So
West Coast is the
technically,
best coast, baby.
so we'll see how that goes.
I like your sigh
I
of
would.
disapproval.
It's almost
You
2:00 here, man.
You don't even want to spend your energy on defending that at the moment. Go ahead.
No, but otherwise, this game is going to be fun. A really fun game to watch. T.Y. Hilton's on the IR, so we get to see Michael Pittman. So that's big. I really can't wait to see it. I'm glad that Wentz is actually a full participant. I'm hoping that he's ready to go. I know how much Dustin hates him, but at the same time, I kind of hope that he helps someone like Pittman do well. Throw a dart at a dartboard for the tight ends for the Colts. I would probably move on. I like Mo Alley Cox, but doesn't mean that he's going to do well. Baby hands Doyle, I don't know. It's hard to tell. So I definitely am not like big on any of those guys, but for the Seattle side of the ball, you got Gerald Everett. I would take a speculative ad and maybe play him. Colts D is good, and they're good at coverage, so I would be a little wary of that. I think Xavier Rhodes is hurt, if memory serves me. So this is definitely a load up DK and Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson. They're going to do fine. Chris Carson's going to do fine too. So this game, you can definitely play anybody that you're really looking for. If you're looking for a low round, late round DFS flyer, maybe I would do Zach Pascal. He usually does well. Maybe Paris Campbell, but he always gets hurt. So I'm just, very wary of him, but maybe Pascal is definitely an option. We do have a question from Magoats, who was wondering Michael Pittman, DJ Chark, or Tyson in the flex, or Tyson Williams versus the Raiders in the flex. And I think a lot of us said Tyson Williams for sure. We'll talk about him at the very end, but he's definitely someone I'm going to play over those two, even though I really like Pittman and I'm kind of big on Chark because I like both of those matchups. So,
yeah,
who you got?
It's tough there. I think just pure talent rise and kind of the setup, and I just kind of want to go back to, Michael Pittman at 6'4", 223.
Yeah, monster.
He fits that prototypical. Like, don't let the Michael Pittman Jr. fool you. He is not a junior. He is that prototypical wide receiver we like, that Julio Jones, type guy.
Oh yeah, bigger than Jones, I think.
Yeah, big body. Again, 6'4" frame. And raw. I mean, we've seen his flashes and what he could do. Again, with the full offense, with the better quarterback, this year, that can actually throw the ball out there if we can. And again, to me, you beat me to it, them boys. I'm going with Pittman out of those guys. I think Seattle gave up. They were, I think, top 5 in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers.
Yeah,
last
the wide
year.
receivers.
If that serves me correctly, and I think that I'm saying that a little conservative. I want to say they were probably at least second or third. I want to say in points allowed. Again, this is just off the head. I don't have my stats up there. So I know we were smashing a lot of guys, last year with against that Seattle matchup, which
honestly
made DK and Tyler Lockett, viable options as well, because they were, again, they were playing, shootout type games. So we know Russell Wilson has a nice deep ball as well too. So again, that's why you're playing guys on that side. But again, just back to the question, I'm saying Michael Pittman out of those three. You can argue Chark because of the matchup, just plainly, and he technically is kind of the number one there until, I see otherwise. I really like, obviously, we're all big on Marvin Jones, at least you and I are, just with that, kind of chemistry that he and Trevor has shown. which I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll get
for
into
sure.
here. And then
Yeah,
I
coming up.
mean, where you got Tyson Williams, you're picking him up off waiver wire. I don't think there's any need to kind of start him right now. Again, he wouldn't be starting unless all these guys blew out their knees. So let's kind of temper our expectations there. Again, volume, equals opportunities, or however Frank says,
Well,
opportunities
that
equals
no,
touches, touches equals points, and points equals
no, he's
wins.
right.
So,
Well,
there is that out there. I'm not getting
that's why
cute in week
Tyson is
one.
so valuable. Yeah,
Right.
no, but that's why Tyson
That's
is
why
so
he's a hold.
valuable and why.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worth it. But I do think. I mean, we're going to talk about this later, but I do think that Latavius takes over that role and he, takes a back seat. But for
Right.
this week, I don't mind the matchup. I mean, the Raiders are horrible against the run. So I don't mind the Pittman pick though. I'm really high on him. So, and as them boys said 2 seconds ago, their secondary got worse. I know they lost out on somebody too. So I'm not bad. I'm not against that pick at all. So I would probably go with the proven over the unproven. So definitely Pittman.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess we disagree with the chat that was saying Tyson. So sometimes you start drinking that Kool-Aid, but we got to take a step back here and see it. So,
I'm not gonna
anyway,
not play Tyson, but
yeah,
if I have unless I have no better option,
you should have better options in week one, is what I'm trying to say.
you should. We'll
But
see.
again, there are different leagues. I'm obviously talking
Yeah.
redraft here.
Yeah.
There's
This is
obviously all
Dynasty.
I'm talking,
Yeah.
basically, 12 team redraft. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you're in that type of a pinch, he's definitely a startable guy just based on the matchup and volume alone. So
Yeah, for
again,
sure.
just make those adjustments as we're talking. So anything else you have on that game?
Nope.
All right. So we'll move it on here. We'll take another second here just to say underdogfantasy.com. We'll throw that up real quick. Shout out to them. Um, go check out their site. We got Pick'em. We got weekly drafts for best ball. They're doing DFS and other things like that. So check it out. Use that promo code Get Right. Boom, boom. Mike queued it up. You're on point. And make sure you use that code. Make your first deposit. You will get a $10 in bonus cash. So get in there and let us know your name, your handle that you used it, and come get in a pick 'em with us, man. We'd love to play with you. So
Yep.
shout out to underdogfantasy.com. All right. So got to get that in there.
Yeah, of course.
Chargers at Washington. We have Washington favored by only one here. They're
Yeah, and
predicting a
that's
pretty
been
close
moving.
game. Yeah, and it has been kind of going back and forth as we've been kind of watching it and putting this together. A 44-point over under. We have a improved Chargers defense here this year. Have some pieces coming back. We
Yeah.
obviously know what this Washington defense is capable of. A few plays short of potentially beating the Bucks and moving on, but definitely showed they still needed some growth. Obviously, I love Gibson on this side. We do have, um, you know, what are we saying here? Oh, go ahead. Just go ahead. What are you trying to say here?
Me?
Yeah. Is that
No,
you
I was
highlighting
just trying to
something?
move.
Oh.
No, I was
Oh,
just
okay.
moving
I
something.
thought you were trying to
No,
alert
you're
me
good.
here on the back end.
No, no, no,
I
no,
was
no.
like,
I
"Oh,
was
what's
just trying to
what are you
move
trying to
things.
say?"
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
I
You're
was
good.
saying
You're good. You're
thought you were trying to catch me into saying something that I wasn't aware of. Good
good.
good looking out.
Yeah,
But no, so I think I was just saying, I like kind of
I
fits
like
magic
Gibson.
here. We'll see what he does. I
Yeah,
love Gibson, as you guys know. I think he has some great potential. I'll let you get into the whole Samuel news and things like that.
yeah.
But definitely an interesting game, that I'm watching. Obviously, kind of a lot of injuries kind of with this game here. So go
That
ahead.
yeah. No,
And that kind of
that's why the
determines our
line
start sit. Yeah.
that line has been jumping back and forth from Chargers being plus, to being -1 to even to now they're moving it to Washington. I mean, Curtis Samuel pulled up in practice after he was just coming back from injury, and he pulled up and it was a hammy, and it looks like they're going to be putting him on the short-term IR, so he's going to be unavailable. Den Boys has a question about that, but I'll answer that in a minute. But we also have Austin Eckler, who did not practice at all for 2 days, and then got a limited practice in today. Now, from NBC The Edge, they said that he's expected to play. I'm I'm kind of in a weird place with NBC The Edge. They put out a lot of weird a lot of weird reports today. I had a little bit of a fight on Sleeper with somebody because I got a thing for Saquon Barkley, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But he told the media that he was ready to go, no setbacks, and then all of a sudden I see a thing for Saquon saying that he didn't mention if he would play or not. I'm like, why would he? He's part of this Joe Judge team where they're going to be quiet about what's going to be happening. So I'm not really surprised by that. But at the same
He's from
time,
the
if he's
Belichick
telling,
tree, right?
yeah, he's
Is
from that.
okay,
He's from
yeah.
the Belichick tree, so they're going to be not say anything about anything. And at the same time, he said that he'd be willing to do whatever you need. So I didn't really like that report. So I'm a little bit in between on this because they're saying the same thing, that he's expected to play, but yet he was limited on Friday and he didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. I would definitely, if he's active, I don't think you should play him. I really think you should pivot to somebody else if you have somebody better or somebody that's worth it. If you have Mostert sitting on your bench and or
Absolutely.
something like that, you're going to be putting him in and taking Eckler out. But
Absolutely.
like any other option that you might have might be a better option than Eckler. If you can grab Justin Jefferson, Justin Jefferson, pick him up. He's worth the ad for the handcuff, and at least you have somebody to fill in. This is, thankfully, this is a 1:00 game, so we'll know before game time if something's going to happen. But I would definitely be very wary of this situation, especially with Eckler, because a lot of guys do not play after only being limited on Friday and not practicing on Wednesday or Thursday. It's a hamstring. If they try to play him, it's going to get worse, and they don't want that. So I don't feel he will be anything more than a decoy out there, if he's out there at all, if he's playing, if he's active. So I really wouldn't use him. So I really pivot from him. The question that them boys had was, with Curtis Samuel on IR, is Humphreys or I can't say his name right. Deami Brown worth an ad. So honestly, I like Humphreys. I know
I
that's
was
a
gonna
weird
say,
thing to say.
I was just about to get to that actually, even without the question. But to me, I actually added Humphreys in a deeper league, with deep
Yeah,
bench. Obviously we
I
kind of
have
saw
him in
that
our listener
connection.
league.
I saw the connection between him and Fitz kind of
Yeah,
during that league. Obviously, we know they're going to roll coverage to Scary Terry. He should still, be able to get his opportunities as well. But to
yeah,
me, Humphreys is kind of one of those, sneaky guys just to have. I'm not saying start him over, DK
yeah,
Metcalf or anything like that. But if you have him, just kind of keep an eye on him, because this could be a guy, especially in PPR, that can just kind of be one of those guys you can kind of plug in, in an emergency.
yeah. And as
Obviously,
Brooks is saying, I'd be
yep,
going Logan Thomas.
exactly.
If you have the option to use him, use him. I really do like him as an option with Curtis Samuel out.
Yep.
It's going to be Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, J.C. McKissick, and then it'll go to Logan. But we'll see. I honestly, uh, I'm going Humphreys, but Brown isn't a bad choice. He looked really good in preseason, but everyone looks good in preseason.
Yeah.
So I would definitely add Brown if you're in like a dynasty. If you have the opportunity, why not? He might be worth it, and he could go off. So he's definitely a bench ad for me if in deeper leagues. Without a problem. Dem Boys is telling us I just moved Mostert to my RB spot, and you're right. You should. You should definitely, always remember to make sure on Thursday night to play, your
Eh,
starters in that, so that you have the flex to be able to do more with your options at the last minute. So I like that as an idea. So definitely make sure you guys are doing that. We got Logan Thomas being upside of top 5, yeah, for sure. He's definitely in the
yeah,
top
but
15, but anyone can be.
that's
So
I'm just saying. I mean, come
yeah,
on, man. Them boys,
be
like,
bolder. Be
be bolder
bolder.
than that.
Say
Say
top 7. Top 7.
I'm just saying. No, he's saying outside the top 15. I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
literally
no.
7 through like 27. are separated by like,
Yeah, by
four,
like a point.
like 1.5 fantasy points per game.
I
So
forgot the number for John Smith last year. I think it was like one. I forgot what it was. He had like 162 points or something like that, and he was like the lowest tight end. Like he was tight end 5 or tight end 10. So,
yeah,
oh, okay. So I got Brooks agreeing with me that he'll be a top 5,
hey,
but
there we
only
go.
if
That's
he
a
drops him.
shot. There we go. There we go.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I think what's it called? Derwin James
Derwin
is
James is
back.
back.
So that's
Yeah,
gonna be, again, like I was saying, kind of
love
in the
Derwin
beginning,
James.
they're getting pieces back this year.
Yeah,
Obviously they picked up Asante Samuel Jr. this year, to just kind of bolster that back end. I don't think he'll get any, playing time. I mean, possibly we might see him in a couple packages, but again, obviously
wait,
Chris Harris is still there.
wait. Did they?
Um,
I thought it was Sertan. Didn't they pick up
was
Sertan?
it Patrick
I
Surtain?
want to say it
No,
was Sert. I think it was Sertan that they picked up, not
was
Samuel.
it? I'm
Yeah,
seeing Derwin
I could be
James.
wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Derwin James, Michael Davis, Chris Harris, and Asante Samuel Jr.
Oh, it is Asante Samuel Jr. Okay,
Yeah,
I was thinking someone else, but yeah, and another
yeah,
guy on there that you mentioned was Mike Davis. He's not bad. He's very underrated. Their
yeah,
secondary is stacked.
right. So again, just kind of
Sorry, yeah. Thank you, Den Boys. He went to Denver.
yeah,
I knew that. I knew I was.
and he
I knew it
knows
was
that
one of those
because they
West Coast
thought they were
teams.
because Dallas thought he was falling to them, and they just moved up
Yeah.
and sniped him right out in front of them.
Oh, he was
So,
so good.
but they
He's
ended
so
up with
good.
Micah, so I'd say
Yeah.
that's a not a bad trade off. But I mean, again, the
No,
Cowboys could have used
a
possibly
good
a
secondary.
Sertan there. Yeah, probably could have used Sertan. Anyway, all right. So we good with that with
Yeah.
Chargers,
Yep.
Washington. Um,
Yeah. Let's move
as
into
far
the
as those
revenge
guys
game.
there. Yeah, the revenge game. We have Jets at Panthers. We have the Panthers favored by 4 at home. Over under pretty low here at 44. Obviously, we have this anemic Jets offense that they tried to obviously defibrillate some life into with Zach Wilson taking him what 2 overall or whatever it was
Two.
in the draft.
Ah, look who
So
it is. We got Wilson. What up, Wilson?
yo, Wilson, it's late for you, man. I'm surprised you're up, but
Yeah.
shout out to Wilson, one of the Get Right
It's only one
ambassadors.
o'clock there.
Oh yeah, he's on that Central Time, so he's halfway on the best coast. He's torn in between. He can't make up his mind. Uh, but shout out right there, Wilson. What's up, man? So yeah, so we have Jets at Panthers. Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold. Obviously, they pinned the guy that was drafted against the guy
Yeah.
he was traded for on week 1. So
Oh. Oh, Wilson,
obviously,
you're so sweet.
oh, look at that, man. That's what we did.
So sweet.
What are you trying to say? We put you to sleep when we're talking? I don't know about that. We should have left that.
Ooh.
Should have left that off there. No, but we appreciate the support, man. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to us here. Really appreciate that. Those thumbs up really help that algorithm for us. So please do that. Hit that little bell notification bar. That helps us as well. So again, we appreciate all the support out there, guys. So anyway, back to this revenge game, man. I
I'm
think it's
excited.
really interesting. Yeah. So I'm not
I'm
interested in the
excited for this
football.
game.
Yeah, it's just just the storyline behind it. It's kind of more interesting
Yeah.
than I think the football is actually going to be. Um,
We'll see, man.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys here on this team that I kind of avoided. Obviously, or not obviously, but I did get have Wilson
Eh,
on my dynasty team. I do like Corey Davis is one of those kind of late
love
rounder
Corey Davis.
guys. But other than that, I kind of was steering away from the DJ Moores where he was being drafted. I steered away from the Robbie Andersons where he was being drafted.
Oh, I
I
love
have
Robbie.
a tiny little sneaky little suspicion about this old Dan Arnold, uh, this Darnold Dan
Oh,
Arnold,
Dan Arnold. Oh
this little
yeah.
hype that's boiling up here. So he
I
might
love it.
be one of these streaming options we start talking about here in a couple weeks. So again,
I
just
agree.
guys to kind of keep an eye on that we're kind of forecasting here. But again, I'm just kind of excited to see what the Jets can do here if they can kind of turn it around. We'll see what this Panthers team does. They have a pretty decent defense, decent offense. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey should eat here, against this Jets defense. But again, remember the Jets defense, at least their front four, were pretty nasty
Yeah,
last year.
I like
So
their front four,
yeah, as far as
and they got
yards per
C.J.
carry,
Mosley back, and they got
right?
Avery Williams back. So both of them, I mean,
Exactly.
they have a pretty. Their defense is pretty solid
Yeah.
considering how bad they are. They
Right.
didn't have the pieces last year. They lost out on
They
Jamal
got
Adams, which
hurt.
I get, but Marcus May is good in the backfield. I'm just
Mhm.
looking at I needed to remember who they had in the secondary, and they do have a former Giant, good old Corey Ballantyne. They have Bless Austin and Bryce Hall. I mean, these are guys that are a little bit unknown, but they're not bad. Um, but you're still playing any of your Carolina guys. If you want to be really ballsy, play Terrence Marshall. I I want someone to tell us that they played him. Oh, they cut. Oh, okay. I didn't know that they cut Austin. I was just looking. I was looking at the last thing I have is from June 18th, so this is wrong. But either way, I'm glad that you pointed that out there, big guy.
There we go, them boys. That's why you're
That's
here,
why we
baby.
have them
Shout out.
boys. Yeah.
Ambassador, OG ambassador right there. Shout out.
So either way, I'm really looking forward to this game. I really do like Terrence Marshall a lot. I have him everywhere. I tried to grab him in everything I did.
I got to share
You
here
know,
and there. I got to share
he's
here and there.
definitely worth it. And I even like Sam Darnold. I can't not like if you're in that group that we were talking about before, I might play Sam Darnold. If you're in that Jimmy G area, where like them boys was saying with Teddy and Jim. If you're playing Jimmy, Teddy, or Sam Darnold, I might go Sam Darnold. Like that's not a bad move. And he was last year. This offense was able to carry 3 wide receivers for 1,000 yards. So I know Sam Darnold isn't Teddy Bridgewater, but he can still play, and he's a first overall pick. So he still has something. So we'll see. Tyler Croft is someone that I'm really interested in this game. And same with Dan Arnold, like with tight ends. I really want to see what they did. They did really well during the preseason. So I'm really, really interested for this. And yes, this is a huge Darnold and Robbie Anderson, revenge game. I don't mind playing the narrative. So if you're definitely into playing revenge game, guys, I'm all for it. Go for it. I don't mind playing either one of these. So enjoy. But otherwise, this is just a really, I might hit the over for this game just because even though it's, Zach Wilson starting for his first time, it might be one of those games that, go off, so we'll see. I don't think you're playing any of the running backs for the Jets. So I wouldn't. There's
Yeah.
no in. Oh, I thought,
Oh
no, I
yeah.
said Terran. I said Terrace.
It's
I knew.
terrace. Yes,
Yeah,
there's no
like
N in
Terrace.
there.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
off my accent, them boys. It's all good,
yeah.
man.
Sorry,
But
I can't. I'm not good with my S's and my C's and all that shit. So I'm sorry. Speech.
We're about to start
Yeah.
calling him TMJ here in a second, so
Oh,
just
Jesus.
watch out for it right away. Hashtag TMJ coming to you guys soon. So
No, it's all
um,
good, brother.
exactly,
But
man.
yeah, I would be playing anybody but their running backs. I mean, we're still trying to figure out what that backfield's like. Is it Ty Johnson? Is it Tevin Coleman? They list Tevin Coleman first. Ty
Right.
Johnson second. They have Mike Carter. They have I know P. Ryan's hurt, so there's just so many things in the air that I'm not sure of who to play. You're definitely starting Christian McCaffrey. So a lot of guys that I would definitely be with, but I definitely like Marshall
Yeah.
to give a flyer on.
Exactly. And like I said, as much as I was avoiding Roby and DJ Moore, I did grab a couple shares of Terrace Marshall Jr., Mr. TMJ.
Yeah.
And again, reason why I like my receivers big and fast, and this guy is 6'3", 200
Oh,
pounds,
and he had better
and runs
numbers than
a 4.40. So um,
yeah. He
he
had
has
better
that
numbers
speed.
than Chase at one point.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
watch out for him. He's definitely a guy to Look at that.
Yeah, Mr. Lockjaw.
There it is.
Nice.
TMJ. Haha, Mr. Lockjaw is now his nickname as far as I'm concerned. So you heard it here first on Get Right, baby.
Yeah, I like
Mr.
it.
TMJ. So when that hits the market, you guys know we've been saying that forever. So yeah, so
Trademark.
again, 6'3", 200 pounds, 4.4 speed. These are the things I look for, man, in my receivers, that combination of strength and speed. We'll see what
He
type
had
of
great
connection he can
numbers.
have. Yep, and we saw him ball out. They were definitely trying to see what he had in the preseason, and
He had at least 4 catches and like 60 yards in every game, and he had 1 touchdown at the end. I mean, he looked good. He
and that
definitely looked
touchdown
better than
catch
Chase.
yeah, that touchdown catch was looking beastie too. I remember when he got up and he was like, yeah, so he was hyped. So definitely
I'm happy with
definitely
it.
include that. So for if you include Lamar Wilson.
No, he's talking about this.
Oh,
Yeah. But don't worry, Wilson. We're gonna get
yeah,
to that. Don't worry.
exactly. All right,
So
so
next,
enough of that game. We can move on there. Damn it, I keep closing the wrong window. We
No, you're
have
good,
the
bro.
Jaguars at the Texans. And we're done. Moving on. We have the
You don't want to go through the rest, do you?
This is no, man. No, not.
All right,
I'm
so
good
this
with
is
the
easy.
rest. No, I'm good with the
No, this
rest,
is easy.
but it's just this Jaguars Texans game,
No.
man.
Play all your
we have,
Jaguars. Don't play any of your Houston
your
Texans.
Houston
Just
guys.
leave it
Yeah.
at that. We're just
Maybe
gonna leave it
Brandon
at that.
Cooks, just because you guys all like playing.
If you
Brandon
have no
Cooks.
other choice.
And when he does nothing, I'll say I told you so. And if he does have a good game, I'll say good job and good for you for starting him.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. Yeah, and then I would play maybe Mark Ingram if you really don't have anyone else, or Philip Lindsay, but that's
if
a
you're
maybe.
really hurting. Yeah, as your flex RB2 flex, maybe if you're really hurting again in those deeper leagues. So
there's
so
not much
again,
about this game.
yeah, Jags favored by 3, 45.5 point over under. There's going to be points scored in this game, obviously. So definitely.
So who are you
Chark,
playing
Jones,
for Jags? Who are you playing out of those 3? Chark, Jones, or Shenault?
Again, depending on where you drafted him, you could take a shot on all of them just because of the matchup. You know, where you got these guys, typically you're getting them late, obviously with the Chark injury.
They were all going around the same.
Yeah, and then I mean Jones was falling a little later. He did creep up there towards the end, towards draft time, after that preseason showing. But then of course he went out with that little AC joint. Should be playing this week, but that is a little bit of cause for concern if he does fall on it again later. Just something to kind of look out for.
Shenault's the only healthy one.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's and he's that gadget guy, obviously, with ETN going down. I think it definitely made his stock rise kind of more than the others. And then of course, Robinson, you're starting him. With ETN down.
Smash.
There and obviously the awaited debut of Trevor Lawrence. Take it away. I'm having an issue.
No, you're good, brother. No, so yeah, you're definitely starting anybody on that side of the line. So I would just go with any one of your Jaguars and you'll be fine. Texans, play at your own risk. If you can play Tyrod Taylor, go for. I'm not saying don't do it, but you can. I mean, both matchups are pretty good because of the concept that the Jaguars aren't that good. So you can definitely play them, but definitely temper your expectation.
Right.
So yeah, let's just move to the 4:00 games.
Yeah, and we got to try to get through these here. We are good.
Yeah, we're gonna blaze through it.
But it's all good here. We got Browns at Chiefs. Definitely going to be, I think, one of the better games. On
for
Sunday. Sure. Definitely excited to kind of see that Browns defense, what they can do against this Chiefs
Me too.
offense. I expect Kelsey and Hill to just kind of feast as they do every game. We'll see kind of what shenanigans. What kind of shenanigans they want to pull as far as that goes. We have the Chiefs favored by 5.5, which actually a pretty respectable line.
Yeah.
And they do have a 54-point over/under. I don't know if they're expecting
That's
most
huge.
of those points to come from the Chiefs side.
I might go under. I would go under on this game.
I'm kind of feeling that as well.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Browns have enough kind of firepower to, again, they're more of a running offense, so more ball control.
35-21.
I mean, maybe, right? I mean,
yeah.
But maybe because, again, the Chiefs score so quickly, So again,
I'll let you
we
know
don't
in a
know.
sec, Will.
Oh, there you go. And so again, I don't want to take up too much time here. We know who we're starting on the Chiefs, the Browns, obviously OBJ. We're looking out for that. And
Game time decision.
I don't have any shares of Landry. Um, you know, pretty much Chubb. You're going to
I'll play
start,
Landry.
and Hunt could be a nice flex, as we know he gets his 10 to 15 touches possibly a game. Most of those in through the air. And they put him in, towards the goal line a lot. A lot of the time
Yeah, for
Chubb was
sure.
scoring from, a ways out, which is always a possibility with him and his big play ability there. So again, good game. I'm excited for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Right now he was for Wilson for Clowney. He is questionable, so we'll see. He had an illness, so I'm not sure how that went. I didn't see the rest of his. I don't see the rest of his weekly schedule, but from what it looks like, they just have him designated as questionable at this point. I know for a fact from the things that I've been reading with Odell, he's going to be a game time decision. So that's definitely someone you should keep an eye on Sunday morning. The hard part about this is it's a 4:00 game, so hopefully you have somebody to pivot to at 4:00. I definitely do agree with Wilson that Mayfield should be better this year with the options, and now everyone's kind of gotten a minute to get in there. I like Landry a little bit more, and even Hooper is someone that I'm really interested in this game. And the only reason why I say that is because I remember seeing something about. Oh, he's never mind. He isn't on the injury report. I thought he was. I remember seeing something about Tyrann Mathieu being hurt or something going on, but I guess I was wrong. So definitely keep
I
an eye
think
out
it
for that.
I think it was like some personal off the field type thing. So I don't think it's an injury. I think it was like
Yeah.
non-football related
I
something
just
or
remember
another.
seeing that he might not be available for this game or something. So I would definitely keep an eye on that too. If he's out, I'm playing Hooper. That's definitely something that I would do. I mean, Matthew does a lot of things, but he's very good at covering. So I would definitely look into that. I'm definitely playing Landry because I like Landry. You're playing all your Chiefs options. Harmon's good. Deep, you're going Pringle. So I'm good with all those. Kelsey, you're playing. Everybody you're playing over there. So, yeah, let's go to the next game, which is a little more interesting, to be honest.
Definitely. We have Dolphins, Patriots. Seems like they're playing all the time. I don't know. Whenever I picture the Patriots playing somebody, it's always the Dolphins for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, I agree.
It just seems like that. We actually have the Patriots favored by 3 at
Which
home,
I'm
which
shocked about,
basic
to be honest.
that's actually when I was reading that off. Actually, yeah, that I was making. You saw the delay on that. I wanted to make sure I had that right.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I think that's a little disrespectful to that Dolphins defense over there. At least that secondary, going against Mac Jones, I think they'll be able to confuse him there. But
yeah, for
anyway,
sure.
43.5 point over under. So again, they're not expecting. Oh, I didn't even see your note right there.
Yeah.
I literally just said what your note said. My bad. I didn't mean to take that.
No, no worries.
But 43.5 point over under. So again, on the lower side here, obviously a pretty good Patriots defense in history. And the Dolphins, their defense is pretty good. Their strength is definitely more the secondary than that front seven. Um, and what did you have there? I thought I saw something about
Oh,
Damian
no, you're
Harris.
good. Damian Harris. Well, I put it off to the side because I was going to come back to it because Brooks
Okay.
had this question for us anyway, where his question was starter sit for flexing a half PPR, Jacoby Myers, Lavistus Chenault, Damian Harris, or Tyson Williams, and this is a very loaded question, but honestly.
In half PPR.
Half PPR, I'm probably going to be going. Oh, geez. I want to go Damian Harris, probably. I just like his situation better. I know it's hard to trust the Patriots running backs, but I mean, Tyson going against the Raiders, it's hard not to pick. I mean, this is a really tough question. When I put it in there, I was like, damn, like I didn't know who to pick. If I had to put my hat or money on somebody, it would probably be Damian just because he has more experience. than Tyson, and I keep leaning Tyson because of the offense, and the matchup, but
Mhm.
I
I
think
think
I'm going
this is
Harris.
how I look at it. I think Jacoby has the highest catch
I love
potential
Jacoby too. Yeah,
out of these
but
four.
going against
You kind
Xavier,
of
man.
yeah, but then that's what I was just about to say. But you don't really want to play anybody against the
Oh, okay.
secondary, as I was just saying. So that's what kind of cancels him out
Yeah,
for me. Then I'm looking at,
yeah,
okay, who has touchdown upside? To me, that's Damian Harris first, and then Laviska second. Again, just because of how they use Vishka on the goal line.
yeah,
Just kind of those crossing little routes there, or possibly out of the backfield, or out of that scat kind of position. I think they kind of scheme him open in the red zone and even in the green zone, like kind of inside that 5 is kind of what
yeah,
I'm talking about. I see
yeah.
him kind of being a threat there. Um, just because I think if I kind of memory serves me correct, I don't think James Robinson had that great of a conversion, like goal line red zone. Like if you want to look that up for me, like
I'm
within
looking that up
in
right
the
now.
5 or so, I think he could have been a little more efficient there, compared to what he was, or I could be wrong. It could be one way or the other. But again, for some reason, I'm just kind of feeling that that's how they want to use him there around the goal line. And again, I just think Urban Meyer wants to get a little cute and think he's out coaching everybody by doing stuff like that.
He had
And then,
seven rushing with 3 receiving.
okay,
Not
is there any
horrible.
breakdown as far as like inside the
No,
5
I
or
didn't.
anything like that? Okay,
I'm looking at
I'll have to get on there
fantasy
deeper
pros.
in my deeper stats
Yeah,
here on PFF, and they'll probably tell me. But so I'll kind of I'll get back to that. But again, just like I said, I think it's some potential there. Obviously, Williams is the guy I'm least big on there. So again, roundabout way, I'm saying Harris there as well too. So I think we just got there in different ways.
yeah. So I mean, I like the defense against against Mac Jones. You want to really go against any quarterback against a brand new rookie in week 1 it's always worth the ad. I mean, I have him. I'm playing him.
Right. And then not to mention, on the other side of the ball, we have Tua, we have Jalen Waddle.
Yeah,
Will Fuller obviously is suspended, still serving that suspension for PEDs from last year.
1 game.
One game left over. I lost him. I thought he was gonna head me into my playoffs last year, and that ruined everything. Um, Gosh. But again, we'll see how
Damn, Will
he,
Fuller.
comes back there. I don't know how and why Gesicki just started plummeting. His draft stock just started plummeting, and all he did
He's
was
a
make big play
monster.
after big play in the preseason. I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't understand what's going on. Tua's draft stock went higher, but yet Gesicki's draft stock went lower.
yeah.
So
I
I
don't
didn't
get it.
understand. And he was just, to me, it looked like he was just looking for Gesicki as a safety blanket in the preseason there. Still had real choppy feet, kind of from what I saw, but there's, definitely some potential there. We'll see how Brian Flores plays it there, what he wants
Hmm.
to do. Obviously, we have Miles Gaskins, who's been a big
Oh
controversy.
yeah,
Heading into this, we'll see how
playing
he can
him.
run against
Start
this
him.
Patriots defense. But yeah, you're probably starting him. We'll see if he does have that true, 3 down roll. And we have your Devontae Parkers and your, Salvin Ahmeds and those kind of guys. You're probably not playing these deeper guys here.
Yeah.
Just until we can kind of see how that ball is going to be spread out, see how Tua
You're
does.
playing Johnu too. You're
Yeah, we're
definitely
probably
playing
playing
Johnu Smith.
Jonnu. Yeah, yeah. So you're playing Jonnu, back on that New England side of the ball. But again, I'm liking more the running game here. We know the Patriots will try to
Oh, for
run,
sure.
and I can see Harris getting 25 carries if they want to, if it's
I
working.
hope so.
Belichick is not gonna if it ain't broke, he ain't gonna fix it. He'll literally hand the ball off 30 times in a row if
Yeah.
he's getting 5 yards a clip. So
And the good thing is, I mean, the only thing that I like about this game is the Brian Flores end of this because he knows Belichick so well, being from that you know
tree.
that coaching tree. So I think this is going to be a good game regardless. It's going to be a little bit low scoring. So you might be not getting as many touchdowns as you might want, but you're definitely going to get the yards probably. So I like Harris. I like, Jonnu. I like Jacoby. Jacoby, you might have to temper expectations, but I would use him more in a full PPR than a half. and I definitely like Janu. I like Gasecki too. Like I like a lot of the options in this particular matchup. So definitely worth the play. So
Yeah. And we've been showing complete disrespect to kickers and defenses in this show. We're not going to go back and talk about them, and we're not going to talk about them in the future. Just refer to the
play
rankings
Jason
list for
Sanders.
those guys. And just word of the wise, I believe um, Cleveland plays Houston next week, just as a look ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to look at that defense, but that's about all I'm going to talk about there. As
If
far
you're
as
gonna play
defense,
kick here, I'm gonna do the kickers real quick. Youngwei Koo, you're gonna use him. You're gonna use
Justin Tucker.
Ricardo Blankenship. You're going to use Justin Tucker. You're going to use Tyler Bass, and you're going to use Jason Sanders. Those are the guys I want you to play. Play them. They're worth it. Just they're the best ones that you're going to find out of this whole group of guys that you're going to find. If you get them, hold them. Do not get rid of them. Do not drop them in the bye week. It is not worth it. They are actually worth keeping, and especially Young Wei Koo. I will tell you that now. He puts up more than most wide receivers. So, for wide receiver threes. So I would definitely keep a hold of him. But that's just my one little take. I'm done with kickers. We'll move on.
Shout out to Wilson. I don't know if you threw this up already.
Yeah, no, I didn't throw that up.
All right. So we're getting there.
We're going to be getting to that.
He's trying to tell us to hurry up. Yeah, James White, sneaky little pick there. I think we see kind of more of a James White game, more in a more high scoring affair, or maybe where they might be playing from behind.
Well, with these
but again,
these rookie quarterbacks,
he could check down.
They always like to dump.
Exactly. So again, and let's see how Damian Harris might be used in the passing game as well. So maybe he's made some improvement there in the offseason. Because again, Belichick likes to be unpredictable. So if he can work in, Harris out of the backfield, especially if he's getting that kind of hype, he'll just kind of take it upon himself to, just use him in that way. I wouldn't be surprised for like a little play action, the first play of the game, and they dump it off to Harris, after a little play action, just to do it, just to mess with people. So,
I forgot to add
now
they're
giving you missed a lot of them, so they're all rolling in now because that Get Right Nation is all over it. Matt Gray, Suck Up to.
I was just naming my big guys.
See, you guys know what's up. We don't need to cover it. We're already almost 2 hours in. We can't talk about kickers too. So,
oh god, yeah, 2 hours. Let's move on.
Saints
Packers. I'll do my own show.
Exactly. You could do your own kickers spinoff show.
There we go.
So there we go. We got Packers Saints. We're almost done here, guys. A couple more games left. I'm gonna have to put time codes in here for everybody so they can kind of skip around to the games if they want to hear the detailed version. So we'll work on that for you guys. Big shout out to you guys that are staying up with us here throughout the entire stream, man. Really appreciate it, Dim Boys, Wilson, you guys jumping on and off. Really appreciate it. Anyway, moving on.
What about me?
And Mike, I know. That's why I want to let you keep talking. If I keep talking too long, you might just fall asleep on me there.
Nah, I'm good, brother.
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. My adrenaline's going. I don't think I'll be able to sleep until
I'm still going, man.
Until Sunday night. So I'll probably be up until then. Especially now I have no work, so I'll probably be up just crunching numbers and looking at stuff and tinkering with lineups. I haven't been able to do it yet. I've been waiting for all this information and then gonna sit down.
Now you got it.
Set all my own stuff now that we've talked about it and I know exactly where I want to go. So here we go. Packers Saints. We have Packers favored by 3.5. 50-point over under, so nice healthy line here. Not too much improvement on that Green Bay run defense. So we'll kind of see what happens with Kamara here. Obviously we're starting him. He should have a big game. Obviously everybody wants to see Wilson here. Winston. Look at me.
It's okay. Wilson asked a question. I'm going to just answer it. Anderson.
That's what I meant.
We're going Robbie here.
There we go.
I like Robbie. Yeah,
I agree because you got Callaway going against Jair Alexander.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Don't forget that. They have no other options. We might have a Troutman sighting here in week 1 miraculously. So Mike's Troutman shares might have not all.
He's healthy. I'm so happy he's healthy.
Might not have gone.
Dude, I have so many shares of him.
Yeah,
so
dude,
many.
I was so sad for you when that happened.
Oh, so sad. But you know what? I'm actually happy he's back. He went
and you know it happened because that's when I started grabbing a couple shares of him, and the roster reaper, prevailed over. So that's kind of what happened there. I do have quite a bit of. I think I sent you a screenshot. A couple of my initial
Yeah, you
best
did.
ball
Yeah,
drafts. I actually kind of grabbed
Troutman.
Troutman. Yeah, kind of at the end before I got my stuff together and started grabbing Kelsey in the first. Um,
We're
but
still going. We're still going there,
yeah, no, hey,
Tycoon.
dude, it's me and Mike Tycoon. You know we're not done talking, dude. We can talk. I can't wait to do one of those like 24-hour broadcasts, like where
Oh
we
my
just talk
God, we're
fantasy,
not
like
doing
for
that. We are not
20.
doing what ESPN does.
Oh, I'm gonna do something like that, man, and we're gonna invite like Tycoon on for like a 4-hour block, and
I
then we'll
can't
invite
afford it.
Shane on for another 2 hours. We'll invite we'll have people dropping in and out. It'll just be
Oh, that would be fun, actually. We can do
crazy
that next year.
yeah, we're gonna have to plan that out for next year. So anyway, let's try to get through this, man. So he said those potathons are a lot, dude. Yeah, they are crazy,
Yeah,
man.
I can
So
imagine.
well, maybe we can coordinate one next year between all of us as we go. Yeah, he said
Yeah,
it's
for
I
sure.
don't know, Tycoon, man. You've heard us, man. We can go for a while here. So anyway, again, Packers Saints. So again, a lot of matchups here. Again, just watch
You're
that
playing your
Callaway.
Bears.
I think what sent us off the rail was my Wilson to Winston comment, but obviously we have Winston coming in. So we'll see how he plays. Can he cut down on the turnovers? That's what I'm looking at. Is he going to be dumping that ball off to Kamara? Is Peyton just kind of beating that in his head, or is he going to let Jameis be Jameis and let him take those
Mhm.
shots downfield and have that type of offense? We haven't seen Peyton without Breeze. So we'll see kind of how this looks. Again, we've seen him for games and stretches, but I'd have to say, Peyton, went into this offseason, tailoring an offense around these two guys and whoever won the job. I think he's going to lay this out. So I'm kind of excited to see how it works. Um,
I'm not
you know,
starting him though.
no, yeah, definitely not starting him if you
Do
don't
not
have to.
start Wilson
I think I'm
or Winston. Sorry,
Winston. But I think
Wilson.
I'm forced to. I think in one of my super flex leagues, I kind of forgot that I didn't draft my QB2, and I kind of was sitting there in round 11 or so, and had to pick up
Yeah,
Winston as my QB2.
if you
So I think
have to.
so I
Yeah,
think I'm forced kind of starting him there. But other than that, obviously we're starting Adams, we're starting Rogers, we're starting Aaron Jones. AJ
Tunyon.
Dillon can be a little flex there. We're probably starting Tunyon based on where you drafted him. And again, Kamara should eat. And
Another guy, good old MVS. He's
there you
somebody
go.
that you can
Hey,
definitely
but you
stream
can't be
in.
giving out other. I love MVS, man. He's good for those
I
three
love
catches for
MVS.
like 130 yards and 2 touchdowns every once
Well,
in a while, and like
the
7
one thing
drops.
about this, the one thing, yeah, true. The one thing I like about this and that particular part of it, I mean, you're not starting Randall Cobb. If you do, and if you picked him up, you're stupid. I'm sorry, but in this particular case, you have they picked up recently. They picked up Bradley Roby, which is a huge ad because they already had Lattimore on one side. They're gonna and no, Jack Rabbit went to the Titans. So either way, you have a better secondary right there. I really think that it's going to be something. We talked about Pittman before. Watch,
Keep watching now, but when we're done, go back and watch
yeah,
we went in depth
go
about it
back.
too.
We talked
So
about him a lot. Play him.
yeah,
Just play
play
him.
him. Just start him for the most
Um,
part.
but with but for that secondary, it should be interesting to see what happens. But you're still playing all those guys regardless. Traquan Smith and on the IR, so now it's left to Callaway, Harris, Troutman, and Johnson. I don't like Callaway because they're going to have Jamar. They're going to have Jair.
Yep.
On him. Harris, I have little faith in. Troutman, I know that people are against and they'd rather play Jaiwan Johnson. I mean, he's listed as a tight end / wide receiver. Not
Yeah.
a bad option if you want to go grab him. He's not. If you have a format that plays him in both,
I
why
have a
not?
share. I have a share or
Yeah,
two. I'm
I
not
picked
gonna
him
lie.
up in a best ball, and he's listed as a wide receiver. So honestly, he's not a bad option. He's definitely more the pass catcher than Troutman is. But just based on how things are, Troutman might get an opportunity to do well. We'll see. He's coming back from injury, so hopefully he gets an opportunity. And now with Wilson behind, we'll see. And even we'll see if Taysom Hill gets that tight end designation at one point. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Yeah, if you want to jump to my team now?
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that, with finishing that off
Yeah.
there, and I'll let you have the floor here. I'll introduce
Yeah.
it for you, and then I'll let you take it away. So our next game here is Broncos at your Giants, Mister
Yeah.
Classic Mike,
MetLife.
MetLife Stadium. We have unfortunately the Broncos favored by 3 in your house. We have a 41 point
Disrespectful.
over under. Um, very disrespectful on this one here.
Nah,
Um,
this is defense against defense.
it is. So why don't you go
Yeah.
ahead and take it away?
All right. So we have Galladay not on the injury report. We have Ingram listed as out. We have Saquon as questionable, and we have Noah Fant and Sutton good to go. Those were like the big question marks in everybody. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, Tycoon. It's okay. I'm just getting excited about the concept of football, not the concept that the Giants are going to do well, because it's going to be a rough game. I'm sorry, it will be, and it's because of the Giants' offensive line going against the Denver, defensive line, who has Bradley Chubb, and they also have, Von Miller, who's still kind of relevant. And their front seven in general is not bad. Their linebackers are pretty good. They have a pretty good team. And, as we said before, they drafted Patrick Surtain, and, it's going to be a little bit of a battle for us on the offensive side.
A lot of
My
it.
biggest question, and I'm going to throw this out there to you because this is my question. And Den Boys has a question about Rudolph as a streamer. I'm not against that. If you want to do that, go for it, but it's really not worth it if you have like no other better options. But I'm not against that. I think Rudolph is not bad for like a touchdown and 20 yards or something. So it's not
Or
horrible.
Johnson. Rudolph or Jarmon Johnson.
Jarwan.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, there's so
Yeah.
many other better options.
Yeah, there's definitely better options.
That didn't even take you that long to come to that decision either.
No.
You just had to pause for the dreadedry
Yeah.
of being in that situation. But
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead.
But either way, I have two big questions that I have to answer for myself here. I have Saquon, Marvin Jones, or Courtland Sutton. If you had that option, who are you playing?
Saquon, Marvin Jones, or Courtland Sutton?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah.
I want to say probably Marvin Jones, just because of, again, this is my process of
matchup.
elimination. Because of the matchup and the situation, and that connection that's there, that's kind of what's screaming off the page. Again, I like Courtland Sutton a lot. I have a couple shares
Me
of him
too.
as well this year. Again, that 6'4", 200 and something, pounds with speed, obviously coming off that ACL.
Oh, he's a monster.
He's a beast, and he has at least a competent quarterback thrown to him now. Probably one of the better ones he's had since he started playing here.
Better than Drew.
Exactly. So, and then obviously just the question marks, with Saquon. They could be just kind of pulling wool over our eyes. Maybe he does see 20 touches. But again, it's a long season, so why? They have what is it, Devontae Booker there? I think he was with the Raiders last year.
Ooh.
He might fill in a little bit there. So, to me, I'm probably looking at Marvin Jones, just with that potential
Yeah, I like Jones
upside.
too.
And I assume this might be as your flex, I would assume. This is what we're looking at.
because right now for that particular league, I had Cooper, which got me a ridiculous amount of points, and the guy I'm playing is my brother, and he ended up having Ronald Jones, who pooped the bed. So I'm all on board for. Yes. Yeah, I'm pumped, but kinda. We'll see. See, that's my problem with it, though. I'm unsure of what's going to happen, and I'd rather go with Jones as a safe option. My biggest thing is I'm already up 33 to -6. So for me, it's not looking to lose. It's more along the lines of being consistent. And if I know I have the ability to have a low floor for him if I have to, but I rather use a guy that I feel would be a little bit more, better. We got a guy, Freshie. They go over the Jag.
Oh,
Yeah, we already did, man.
I didn't want to interrupt you with it, so I was
Oh, no
getting back
worries.
to him in the chat there. So told him
So,
it
I mean,
wasn't too long back. Yeah, so go check it out. Stay with us live, but go check it back
yeah.
out.
But I'm definitely leaning towards Jones. I think I already made the move for it. But then in another league, I have Jones, Jacoby Myers, or Sterling Shepard. Who are you going with that? And this is wide receiver 3.
Jones again too there easily.
Yeah.
We
See,
talked
it's
about Myers and his matchup with
yeah.
um,
Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard. Yeah, thank you. I was doing the
Yep.
whole snap thing. Xavier
No,
Howard,
no, no,
and
no.
then Sterling Shepard. I don't think he's really startable at this point. So to
Yeah,
me,
I
I'm
think I'm
definitely
gonna
going
have to
Marvin
roll
Jones.
with Jones.
Yep,
So I
and then
mean,
we have a couple other questions in here too. Just for those who may not have been watching and are just kind of listening here on that YouTube Premium, invest in that. I would say they don't pay me for that yet, but I love it. Allows you to listen still with your screen off. So just for those guys, I think we had a fantasy boardroom that said yes, thank goodness it's back. I still have some fun moments in this game.
yeah,
Saquon's back. If I were an NYG fan, I'd be pumped.
yeah, I
And
am pumped.
then we had Dim Boy said Saquon, just because no matter
Yeah, I
how
saw
many
that.
touches he gets, the 80-yard TD run or screen pass is always a possibility. So, like I said, I just want to say it. Say the
Yeah,
questions
I
for
get it.
those who are not watching, so they don't miss out on what we're talking about here in the chat. And then I kind of
Oh,
want to get
sorry.
back to this as well too. We had a question that kind of got in there from Wilson. What can I get for Kenny Galladay? I need to trade him before he gets injured again. I'd add an
Zach
LOL or a
Moss.
little laughy face for that. Yeah, maybe you can get a Zach Moss or somebody like that for him. I
I'm
wasn't
only
touching.
joking because
Yeah, I
he
know, I
keeps
know,
pushing Zach Moss.
I know, I know. Um, I'm not giving you a hard time for that, Wilson. We almost worked something out there.
I
I
will.
might take him, but it depends. We can get to that. But again, it's kind of hard. We don't know Galladay's. You're gonna have to wait till he plays. I don't think he has really any
Yeah,
trade value right
I'm not
now.
starting him.
You're going to need a string of good games for him for anyone to feel confident. Then at that time, you might feel confident. So he's kind of one of those guys where if you drafted him, you might be stuck with him, type of guys. And we'll get into that as we get into our trade shows throughout the year. And we have a tycoon here saying, Wilson, I've been trying to trade Galladay all off season and can't get freaking anything for him. So
Nah, you're not going to.
pretty sure that's the thing there. Wilson, going back to your question, his input was Sutton. In that
Sutton, I
trio.
wouldn't do it. The only reason why I wouldn't is because of Bradbury.
Yeah, he's
Bradbury will
going up
shut him
against
down.
Bradbury, exactly.
Yeah. If I
But
had Judy,
normally
I'd be playing Judy.
right, if the roles were reversed and we had Sutton going against that Houston defense and, Marvin Jones going
Oh, for
against,
sure.
Bradbury,
Sutton.
then, it would be
Yeah.
Sutton, 10 times out of 10.
I mean, my thing with Sterling against Denver, it
Exactly.
was just they had a really good secondary last year. I think they were one of the best secondaries out there. So
Yeah, and, Dim Boys, I get what you're saying there as far as, putting Saquon in or not. Again, I don't know if we asked if that was a PPR or not. I think I was just assuming it was
it's
a PPR.
full PPR, but I also have Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Miles Gaskin. So I'm playing all three of them, and I'm just fading Saquon out of there. So
For now, yeah. And if you have
it's
that
worth
kinda
it.
backfield, you can kinda
And
do
I'm
that to
already
the safer
yeah,
route.
I'm up 33, so it's worth it's worth it for me. So and
Yeah,
he had Jones go off for nothing. So
yeah. Oh, yeah, we already got into that.
yeah, we already talked about all that.
And then, Tycoon saying he's gonna have to go back for the SF Detroit breakdown. I got to talk
Yeah.
about that. Mike let me go off on that for a little bit, so that was nice. Let's see, start Robinson, Chenault, maybe T-Law and Cooks. Did I miss a question where
No,
oh, I think he was
you're
just
good.
kinda asking, right here about tags.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
he was kinda just asking that. Um, let's see, he's saying Jones there too. I think that's for the second question. And then to get
Yep.
caught up here, he said, I managed to package Galladay with Kyler and Gaskins for Tannehill, Henry, and Diggs.
Damn.
So again, I think this is the thing. If you are going to trade Galladay, it has to be part of a package. I don't
Yeah,
think
for
he
sure.
has too much standalone value right now. It'd have to be obviously those other pieces were just the main pieces of that trade, as you can see. Um, and not a bad trade there, man. That's a
That's
nice.
a that's a trade.
Who did
All
that
right, let's
trade?
get
Did that happen in
I don't
our
want to
yeah,
know.
anyway, you're falling asleep. All right, so here we go.
Now let's get
Is
to the Sunday night
oh,
game.
yeah, so are you good with your, Broncos Giants, we didn't mention
Yeah, I
anything
mean
about the Denver side. With the
I
Jerry
mean,
Judy, I think is a nice play there. Obviously, with Bradbury being on Sutton, Jerry Judy should actually feast, and I'm kind of seeing that's where that production should come from.
Noah
You
Fant,
know,
I'm a little in between about. I think his injury is going to linger, so I'm not really high on him.
yeah,
And the only other guy that I wouldn't play him, but I would definitely be like watching is Williams. Javante Williams is
definitely want to
looked
see
good in the
that breakdown.
preseason. And,
Yeah,
and Gordon, to be honest, I kind of want to see how he does against a good defense because Giants, believe it or not, are actually a better team against the run. With that Dexter Lawrence in the middle, he just shuts everything down. So
yeah,
he's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
dude.
I'm just kidding.
He's a big dude. Have you seen him?
I like those big
He's
guys in the middle, man.
monster. He
And he can
makes
move
Vita
though.
Vea look small,
I was
and he
gonna
can
say, but he
move.
can move. Yeah, but he can
Yeah,
move. So,
I like him.
so yeah. So, I think that rounds out our afternoon games. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
Sunday
here
night.
into the Sunday night game, and then we'll touch on the Monday night game because we'll be kind of recording during that game. So I'll at least get our pre shots out here first.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if we kind of picked up some of your guys' questions here. Oh yeah, we integrated them into the breakdown. So
Yep.
we're almost done here. So we got Bears at Rams. We have the Rams favored by 7.5. I think that's the second highest point spread. I think they were tied with Tampa Bay at
Yeah.
7.5 as well. 47 point over under. So interesting line versus over under there.
Yeah.
So a little
Well, they just
interesting.
think that the Rams are going to blow them out. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
That's
the
kind
Andy
of what
Dalton.
they're
It's the
saying.
Andy Dalton effect. That's all.
Right. And obviously, the big question here that I've been hearing a lot is do you start Demont over so and so? Obviously, facing this nasty
It's
Rams
so
defense.
hard to pick.
We know I always said, he was kind of the safest guy that I would draft if I went kind of zero RB or, late RB as
Same.
my RB1. A lot of people got him, at a nice value for RB2.
Yeah.
But coming out in week one, drawing this defense is a tough draw.
Yeah.
Again, just depending on your options, you can let us know who you have. As far as who you kind of want to go against them. But again, I'm starting Mostert over him, who you probably drafted as an RB3. I might be starting Gaskins possibly over him as well. Um,
Yeah. I would.
so there's, kind of guys like that. Maybe, where I kind of start drawing that line is maybe like Henderson, and
Mm,
those kind of guys, just
I'd
kind
be
of in
worried to
that
play him
range.
this.
That's what I mean. Kind of in that range
Yeah.
is where you kind of have those same type of question marks. We're not questioning kind of, Montgomery's volume. We know it's going to be there. It's just how effective is he going to, be against that Rams defense. So, I've already mentioned it before. I'm excited to see this Rams offense with Stafford and Bobby Trees and, Cooper Cup,
I
Tyler
agree with
Higbee,
Wilson.
Damian Williams. Well, yep. And I actually have him in a couple leagues as well, just as a little handcuff
Yeah.
in some of the deeper leagues for a running back there that I think could, get a good run if Montgomery were to go down. So yeah. So what say you about Bears Rams?
I'm loving this game with a lot of different, options. I have Stafford. I'm really excited to see how he does. This is what I've been waiting for, because I picked him over Tannehill. So for me, I can't wait to see this guy, throwing the ball everywhere, seeing this Sean McVay offense with Matthew Stafford and using, Darrell Henderson and Sony Michelle in the backfield. So
Way more excited to see it with Cam Akers, but we'll
yeah,
have to settle here.
that's for you next year.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like I want to see what Higbee does. I kind of want to see how Cole Kmet does. I know you guys don't care about tight ends, but those are guys that I'm
I
really
like
looking
Komet.
at for these.
I
I
have a
like
gentleman's
Kmet
bet.
too.
I have a gentleman's bet
Nice.
with Frank
And
Komet versus Gerald Everett in
and right
Seattle. So we'll see.
now right now the Bears defense looks a little beat up. I see Eddie. Let me see. Eddie Goldman is their nose tackle, who is actually really good. He's a big boy too, like Dexter. He's going to be out. Well, it says doubtful, but you can put that as out.
Pretty much out.
Right now, they have a lot of guys on their defensive side of the ball. Mack, Quinn, Gibson, all questionable. Darnell Mooney is questionable with a back injury. So these are a few guys that I would definitely be keeping an eye on. They have Eddie Jackson, but he'll play. So they're a little bit injured, so I think that's why the line's a little high. But at the same time, that defense for the Rams is unstoppable with going against a guy like Andy Dalton. I'm not really too I don't really want to play a lot of the Bears offensive players except for Monty. You have to play Monty, you have to play out, Allen Robinson, and I'm a little nervous about that because he's going against
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that Jalen Ramsey matchup is going to be tough. I would have been cool with Darnell Mooney, but yeah. So Wilson, as he said, Rams blowout. Enough said. Yeah, honestly, that's what the line is showing. That's exactly what the line is saying. So I'm a little bit more on the Rams side than I am on the Bears side. So temper expectations. Maybe this is the game that knocks out Andy Dalton for Fields. So we'll see.
Right. They just get blown out right away. They just say, "All right, that was enough. We go with Fields."
Yeah. So maybe.
We'll see.
So let's get to Monday night and finish it out because there's not much there. And this is kind of actually, to be honest, this is kind of the biggest news of the week. We didn't add this in the beginning because we knew that it was going to be something to talk about for a minute, and we unfortunately 2 hours later. But at the same time, this is kind of the biggest news of the week with Gus Edwards tearing his ACL, which is huge, and Marcus Peters too, which is on the lesser side, but. At the same time, this is huge. This is 4 guys in their backfield that are currently down, and they had to literally scramble out of nowhere and grab people. They've already grabbed the 3 top options, minus Todd Gurley, if you want to even put him in there. With Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and they just signed Latavius Murray to the 53-man roster. Now, let's get this clear. If you went and picked up Bell, drop him. It's not worth keeping. Freeman, same concept. They're both on the practice squad. They're not coming up, and they even said they're not coming up. They took Murray and signed him.
There was a little bit of sprinkling that maybe Bell was going to go, but that was before the Murray
exactly.
News. And so I think
and then
over time it'll be Murray's backfield. But go ahead. I hope I didn't steal
your question. And that's my point, is that this is going to be Murray's backfield. He will get this after week, maybe after week 3. But he's the one that I want to add out of this whole group. If you picked up Tyson Williams, good for you. Honestly, good for you. But at the same time, you can only play him this week. And if you have no other person to play, then play him. He's not a bad pick. The Raiders are a really bad run defense. Go for it.
Ravens,
I'm not against that.
50.5 line.
This is going to be a big game. You're going to be starting your big guys. You're starting Waller. You're starting Jacobs. You're starting all those guys. You're probably not starting Carr unless you're in a 2 QB or super flex type league. You're going to start Lamar because everyone will, and he'll have a decent running floor.
I think he's the one that benefits from all these. He's going to have to put the team on his back and just kind of take it over. These injuries,
no Bateman,
running back,
no Boykin.
You went right to it. I was going to say, with these injuries to the running back, it has me even more excited with Bateman. I have him on my IR in a couple teams. I still drafted him. I got him in the round that I wanted to draft him, kind of pre-hype. So that's why I think I like kind of the injury because I was able to still get him at that spot that I wanted to get him. So I was able to kind of get him there. And
see, this is a good question that I wanted to. This is actually a really good question, and honestly, I don't think he does. If he shows something, they will, but I don't think he does. I think Murray takes this backfield. They're paying him a prove it, I think, low minimum, salary. Like, he's getting nothing, but he wanted a place to be the guy, and he has that style that can do it. He's a big back.
Yeah. And just remember, the Saints came to Murray and asked him to restructure his contract, and he said no. So that tells you what he thinks of himself. He's not just some backup role and just thinking, they're going to play on this team, especially without Drew Brees there. He's probably thinking, well, we have no chance probably to win a Super Bowl. So, he probably wants to at least go to a place where he's going to play and not be behind, Kamara. And maybe that just kind of gives you an inkling of what that offense is going to be. And maybe he wasn't going to have that kind of role that he was going to have. And shout out to Tony Jones Jr. For those of you who might have a sneaky little ad there. I have
him to talk about him before.
Well. So again, just keep an eye on him. He's one of those running backs that I think is going to step into that, Lat Murray role. I think, again, with them going to, Murray and asking him to take less on top of probably doing less playing time. And that's probably where that restructure came from. Again, that's just me speculating. So, I think that means that there's a potential role here, and Tony Jones could have some standalone value. We're not playing him right now, but definitely keep an eye on him, have him on your watch list or roster him and hold him right now.
Yeah, he took a 1 year, $2 million, and honestly, he was the guy that you should have picked up instead of Bell and Freeman. Murray was the guy.
You put that
Tony
out there already?
Jones. Yeah, Tony Jones is definitely another guy to pick up if you really are looking for somebody. He's definitely worth the ad. He looked good in preseason. But I would definitely I already picked up Murray in one of my leagues. I literally so when I in the chat for us on the channel, I didn't even put it in. I didn't have time because I saw my alert go off and I went to go look for Murray in every league that I was in because I knew that he was either dropped or someone didn't care, and I was able to get him in one of the leagues that I'm in, and I was just lucky to get that, and I'm happy that I was able to do that, and I actually dropped him because the news didn't state that he signed; it just said that they were looking at him, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, it said he signed. So I'm like, oh crap! I was able to pick him back up, which I was really happy about.
He almost blew it.
I almost blew it, but
yeah. I think Baltimore got the guy they wanted. That happened to just work out pretty nice from him. And again, even going back to Murray's obviously Raider days, and then going to Minnesota, and that role he had there, and then going to New Orleans.
He's a good back.
So again, he's productive when he can step in, and again, he's just not that flashy guy for whatever reason. Back with the Raiders, I think he was kind of known as a fumbler. Kind of back there for whatever reason.
Yeah, he had the 4.
Right. So,
well, if you look at his stats, I'm looking at them right now, and I'm looking. He's actually a durable back. He's played no less than 14 games. He rushed attempts wise as high as his 266 for 1,000 yards. That was his big year in Oakland, which I get, and
that's why he signed in Minnesota.
Honestly. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's a monster back. I really like him. 6'3", 230. I like that type of guy.
I mean, he lost his job to
for
Cook
sure.
when Cook came on. I mean, what are you going to do? He wasn't better than Cook, and that's why he left for New Orleans. And then, of course, they get Kamara, and then so he's again, and he didn't want to take the pay cut. He's looking to start. So,
and he has more juice than Bell and Freeman. He is
absolutely.
Well built for this, and he's been playing. I like him out of everybody. So
yeah,
I'm really glad that he fell.
Absolutely.
So we actually had.
I'm like, is that it? Do we finish it? Where are we at? We're here.
Well, we're almost there.
A little too
because we had 7. We had Brooks. We had Brooks asking about. I picked up Tyson and Gallman, and I have to drop one of them for a kicker. So which one do you drop? And honestly, I would go Gallman. Tyson is at least worth a speculative ad even after this week, but Gallman is the one I would be cutting if you're the one cutting anybody at all.
Right. And again, I would keep Williams just because, again, those whatever's in the water over there in Baltimore or whatever they have going on in the practice field or whatever drills they're running are just tearing all their ACLs and sending guys
maybe it's surgery. The field.
Something's going on there, man. All their
remember that whole thing with the Giants and the 49ers?
Yep.
Giants 49ers are both getting, ripped because of their field.
That Niners new field, yeah. So
yeah.
Again, just things there. So yeah, I like the upside with Tyson, even though as much as I've been talking down on him and saying he's probably going to lose that starting job, and again, he was the RB3, RB4 heading into it. So again,
if we're going to break down if we're going to break down anything else about this, Raiders wide receivers, are you playing them? Yeah. Now that Marcus Peters isn't there, you have a little bit more flexibility to play guys like Ruggs and Brian Edwards. I mean, those are guys I would definitely think about playing. Damn boys. I would definitely take even a flyer on Sammy Watkins, even if you were looking to. Why not? Sammy Watkins is going to be number 2, and even Marquise Brown. Why not? You're definitely starting Andrews. You're definitely starting Waller. Those are guys you're not going to not, take care of. So, God. Goddamn Dan Campbell.
That inside scoop.
I really like Dan Campbell too. Like, I like his enthusiasm. I like his demeanor. I hope it I don't know. I hope it works. I already have the bold prediction that Jamal Williams takes over that backfield, but I know that Fantasy Boardroom will definitely disagree with that. But we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's going to disagree with that. Let's see. He says it's my second favorite.
Yeah, he's just funny. He's just a funny guy. He was talking about the internet with DeAndre Swift with the whole arrest thing. Like, I thought that was funny. Nice.
I'm about it. It's getting crazy. We still got people here hanging in with us. Almost
I can't not go. I want to keep talking
into this show. Like I said, man, we have to look into this whole
talk all day
24-hour podathon. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would just need some water. I'm kind of parched right now. You heard me.
I drank my 2 beers.
My coughing episode. Yeah, I definitely need another red solo cup here.
Red Solo.
See, Frank was singing that on the last show.
I know.
Oh man,
it would be funnier if we knew who it was.
Exactly. So anyway, I think that should about do it. I think 2.5 hours is probably enough, man. We appreciate you guys checking us out. Hope you're enjoying the show, man. Obviously, as it says right there, we're home of Friday Night Mocks, but we're definitely more than that. We're here to break down these games, help you guys get your lineups right, get everything, started for the season coming up. Next week, we'll be doing our show on Monday. We'll be doing a waiver wire show, breaking down the games and what we saw, kind of our overreaction. Obviously giving you our waiver wire ideas. We'll come out with our Wednesday show and start kind of diving into trades and roster construction and, guys we're looking for, looking ahead, kind of beat the waiver wire type stuff. And then, Mike and I will, and what we're actually trying to work out is actually Dustin and Mike are hopefully going to come in here. As you guys saw, this was a 2-hour show trying to get through all the games. So we're going to possibly break it down to an AFC and NFC breakdown. So Dustin and Mike will hit you for the Friday early evening show a little earlier in the day and break down one of the divisions. And then hopefully myself, maybe a guest or Frank will be here to break down the other side. And we'll kind of flip flop and go NFC, AFC. Just so we're not, each talking about the same teams every time and just break it up for the 2 different time zones. Give you guys our takes. Of course, check the description for our sleeper, private thread. Get into it. You can post your questions and things there. Led me right into the underdogfantasy.com. Put that promo code get right in there. Make your first deposit and you'll get $10 added to your account. Make sure you join us with some pick'em and stuff like that. Since I had Mike on here for 2.5 hours, I'm not going to ask him if he wants to do some pick'em with me tonight. Maybe we'll get into that on Sunday. And who knows, man, we might pop on here live Sunday morning and just do some Q&A just so we can kind of all tinker together and get our lineups right for Sunday morning. So we know you got a lot of, Sunday morning shows out there that you're listening to, but if you want to come hang out with us, we may be here. So, Mike, I know I kind of took away the outro there. What do you have to say, man, before we head into
absolutely nothing? You kind of stole everything, and it's fine. I absolutely love it because I'm at that point where I have nothing else to say.
I was going to say you're probably getting a little delirious now.
No, but honestly, check us out. We're going to definitely work on trying to get you guys a little bit earlier on Fridays so we can break these games down. This is a lot. And, I don't mind doing it. I love doing it, but we definitely want to make it so that it's a little bit easier for everybody to, to view. And definitely want to, look in, we'll definitely talk later about, Sunday morning and stuff like that. So, I'll be around. We're going to be doing something. We're going to try to, get everything going so that everyone's right for their, leagues. And we want to, I want to wish everyone good luck. I know we already kind of started Thursday, but good luck on all your, your leagues. Make sure you guys are, keeping an eye on that waiver wire. Make sure you guys are keeping track of the guys that are going down, injuries, all that stuff. Just make sure you guys are keeping aware. Be mindful of everything going on around you. I always like to.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
we roll those sleeves
and always keep. Definitely join the channel if you haven't already. It's in the description. Definitely. It's a great community. We try to get everybody is news as quick as possible when we can.
And Tycoon.
And Tycoon. Yeah, we'll throw Tycoon in there. And, you might see me on a couple Friday morning, Friday afternoons and then nights. So I don't mind doing both if I have the time. So we'll definitely make it work. And I'm always going to be around. So good luck to everybody this year. Have a good time with it. Good luck on Sunday. Hope everyone enjoys it. Hope people are doing things that are fun. So yeah,
that's it, man. Mike, have a good one, man. Appreciate you coming on. For everybody else out there, again, like he said, good luck. Let's take it down for Team Get Right, man. I want to hear about all those wins, and how everyone's smashing week 1 and coming out of it 1-0. Except for those of you that I'm playing against, you're going to be 0-1. So other than that, enjoy, man. Classic Mike. Always a pleasure, my guy. As you guys know, I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. We can roll those sleeves down. We're out.